Hello, and welcome to our end of February gaming block party.
Woo.
Woo! We have a stack house today.
Let's go.
Quite the homies that showed up, and we appreciate
Thank you so
each
much,
and
you guys.
every one of them. We are awaiting the homie Ham, who should be here at any moment. Ray is gonna actually be joining us a little later, towards the end of the show, but you know, we still gotta put him up there so everybody knows that
Absolutely.
Ray gonna be around.
Ray will be here, guys.
Absolutely. But obviously, guys, I am CMoney, and as always, I'm joined by the always lovely Doodle.
What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for rocking with us. Thank you to our guests. Happy Wednesday. Let's go.
Happy Wednesday indeed. And what a way to end the month with all these homies that are here with us. We're gonna start introducing right over that side. I gotta get my directions right on the screen, man. I'm telling you.
Always.
So first off, you guys just saw him here on Saturday during his him and a guest appearance.
Interview.
We have the homie J-Rock in the building.
Let's go.
What's good,
I'm
man?
back.
Yes.
And see, money. You got to change my boy's Ham's picture. He look like I like turtles. Like
that's he sent me the last time we had him on, so I'm just respecting his wishes. You know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine? Hey, Ham, we're gonna need a different picture of you as per who said that? Andy?
J-Rock.
As per J-Rock, we're gonna need a new picture. All right.
You look too mystified and too excited right now.
Look at that man. See, look at his eyes. Look at his look at the little tiny eyes he got.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Already
thank
wild.
you for being here, man. We appreciate you, homie.
Thank you, J-Rock. Let's go.
And then we got the man who just came back from vacation.
Woo. Nice and relaxed.
The man who makes frequent trips to our channel.
Let's go. Yes.
Excited, thankful.
We love it.
The homie Fuzzy Belvedere, man. Welcome, man. Thank you so much for being here, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Oh, thank you for having me. So glad to be here with everyone. Man, full panel tonight. So this is going to be a fun time. But man, so much gaming news to get into. Can't wait to do this, man. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Hey Fuzzy,
absolutely.
two more vacations and you'll be the shade of dirt.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's funny. And then you got the homie Crispy Bomb making his debut officially on the show. He was a part of our community town hall. He came and he dropped some bars, but this is his first time as an actual guest. What's up, man?
Welcome.
Thank you for being here, brother. Long time coming.
Yes,
absolutely. And it's I'm happy to be here and thank you for having me. And I mean, geez, when I saw Rand, I was like, wait, when's the last time I podcasted with him? Oh, that was many years ago. So what's up, the man with 1 million? And we got J-Rock Gremlin Nation in the house. I mean, what's good? You know, I mean, Hargeet was spitting bars the other night. Woo! He was had fire coming out of his ears. First time meeting Andy, so good to see you. And Fuzzy, of course, brother, all the time, man. Good to see you as always, and glad you had a good vacation. Let's get into it, man. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you for being here.
Indeed. Awesome, man. And you brought him up, but the man with 1 million coming back to the channel from quite a while ago when he was on him and a guest.
Amazing.
I'm so happy that you were able to come on and that you were willing to come on, man. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. Randall Thor 19, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, my brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You know, this one actually lined up last time. I think it was I had a family not emergency, but I had to take somebody to the hospital. So that obviously is you know, I would have rather have done the show instead of sitting at the hospital for hours, but you know, it is what it is. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about, right? Crispy, it's been a long time, very long time. I don't even know when the last time we.
I think it was on Next, dude.
It's been a long, and then of course Hargeet. My Hargeet is here.
Yes.
The wise one, we call him here.
The wise one. And Mr. Fuzzy, I see you. I saw your post about your your vacation with saw the Kevin Smith ones. Those are nice, and
he's like super
I have to say,
skinny, bro.
I don't think me and J-Rock have ever really interacted.
No.
But I'd be seeing his
let's
tweets.
go. First time.
I'd be seeing his tweets. I'd be laughing. I'd be laughing sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. That's what's up. That's what's up. Good, man. Well, we're definitely
We're so
glad to
happy
have
you're
you
here.
on,
Thank
man.
you for rocking with us.
Definitely, man. Appreciate it. And of course, the wise one.
The wise one.
The man who eats mustard live on
Oh
our
my gosh,
channel.
he does.
Just
Why you
to
gotta bring that
spite
up?
me. Just to spite me. The homie and official member of our night shift
Yes.
panel. Hargi Shani, man, welcome back, bro. You were just here last night
Let's
on the night
go.
shift.
We did something else to talk about.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just drowning in a sea of mustardo.
Oh, God damn it.
Yo, it's funny because that was just that background that he had going on was so like I feel like something's coming. And he's delivered.
As always.
It shows violence. It shows violence.
With olives and mustard.
Oh, God damn it. So for any of you who don't know, I hate mustard and olives, and the community has decided that is going to be my living nightmare for the rest of life.
Apparently.
Just seeing it, hearing about it, and talking about it constantly. So
I was like, it'll last like maybe a week tops. It's taking off.
well, and I thought it was just the community, but now it's infiltrated
the white
onto the
one's in it.
panel. So it's just good time for me. All right. It's great times indeed. And then we have somebody that I've seen only a few times in tweets, but turns out he's like a major Xbox head like us. And the homie Adidas 20.
Shout out to Adidas.
Reached out to us and was like, yo, you need to get Andy Pants on your show ASAP.
ASAP. That's yeah.
And I was like, yo, for you, Adidas, let's make this happen. And then I saw your stuff. I was like, oh shit, he's one of us.
Yes.
See, this is the thing that I've slowly uncovered over time. Before I got into this, I did not know there were so many hardcore Xbox dudes. That's why when we first started doing our channel, we were kind of talking about everything because they're like, man, nobody's gonna just be hardcore Xbox like we are. Well, turns out there's a bunch of us. So Andy Pants, man, welcome, bro. Thank you for being here.
Welcome. Thank you for rocking with us.
Dude, thanks for having me on. I mean, you're right. It's definitely the Green Nation. It's like it has not been as popular over the years, but I think that's kind of worked for us because it's like an underdog thing we got going. And dude, you know, somebody's got to make trollish YouTube videos out here. So it's me. I'm the one doing it. But yeah, dude, great to see all these guys on here. Rand, I've listened to you a lot over the years. You know, with your podcast with Jez Corden and some other folks, very familiar with your voice. I've listened to you a lot. And then Fuzzy, I've seen you on Boomstick Gaming a lot, and of course, Jay interacted with you a ton on Twitter. But great to see all these guys here and ready to get into it.
No, well,
let's go.
Thank you all for being here. I will say that I think Rand has to have like the most recognizable voice,
right?
Of all time.
I doubt that.
YouTube.
I doubt that very much.
Dude, I don't hear.
Like
there's
we
no
need
one that
you
I can
on
hear.
TV,
that has
by the way. Like that's your voice is very specific. Very.
No,
unique.
I mean, maybe I just got a face for radio. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
We need him voicing.
It's just probably what it is because you don't see me, so all you do is hear, right? So
yeah,
I don't know.
It becomes an identity. It just is what it is.
He keeps it mysterious, you know.
It is mysterious indeed.
So
it is mysterious indeed.
I get it.
Before we hop into it, because you know there's a lot going on in the world of.
Wait, shout out to Ray. He's in the chat. He's working, so he's gonna join us when he gets home.
Up here.
Yes, Ray.
Right. Yo, hop your ass up here, bro. We got the booster seat right there. Look, the seat is ready for you.
That's messed up.
You are good to go, homie.
Daycare's not out yet.
Now, see.
Oh,
where is he? Hargy, where is he?
The daycare's not out yet.
Oh my god.
He said
Ray just fucked up, man. Ray, even though he said one word in the chat, he said one word.
He said, "Hey, yo."
Zach Wiley said, "Uppies." God damn it. Oh, Ray.
God, and shout out to Demoflow Gaming, who's going to be joining us on a night shift soon.
Yeah,
Right?
so hopefully soon. We have the one targeted for his birthday, but he might be busy, so we'll see. We'll see. But yes, before we hop into it, let's get our homies over here who've been waiting. The
Adidas,
homies,
thank you so
Adidas
much.
20, my brother, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for that $10 super chat. Says, what a fucking panel today, bro. What's up, everyone? And thanks for getting Andy in Mustard Party today.
Mustard Party indeed, baby.
We got you. I know it sucks that when I put the thing, it's gonna cover people's faces. That blows balls. So I apologize. Bouncy, what's good, fam? Thank you for being here, man. Blows balls big time.
Bouncy, what's up, baby?
Bouncy, man, what's good, fam? Thank you for that $2 super chat. Says panel of elites. Let's go. Have a good day, everyone. Bouncy, thanks, brother, man. Appreciate you. And the homie G Myers, man, thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for that $5 super chat. It says, what up to the panel, especially La Madrina and Sir Poupon of the Gray. God damn it. God damn it. Thank you, brother. And the homie Right You Are Gaming, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, C Mustard is here to stay. Hashtag PS is dying. Hashtag no PS6 at 60% plus. Oh my God.
But C Mustard's here to stay. Unlike PlayStation, huh?
Apparently.
Hey, I'm with you, CMoney. I hate mustard too.
Yes.
Oh my
Nobody likes
God. Yes. Look what's happened.
I do not like mustard.
Chat.
Thank
get on
you.
crazy.
No, see, Rand is a normal human. Okay. You guys have like a weird extra like molecule in your body that turned you different. Okay. And that's why you like mustard. Okay. That's the only thing I can explain. If you like mustard, you different in a weird way.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's just true. Okay?
I have to ask this. Do you like horseradish?
What the hell's horseradish? First of all,
wow.
Horseradish sounds too much like horse, which sounds too close to pony. So no, I don't like that shit.
Or sauerkraut, none of that.
No, sauerkraut's disgusting. That's the worst. That's another. Y'all just full of disgusting shit.
Fuzzy,
right?
let it out, Fuzzy. I saw that facial expression.
Fuzzy don't like none of them. I know Fuzzy hates mustard.
Well, I try to ask him what he wants on like hot dogs and stuff, and he does ketchup, which is like totally the wrong answer for as far as I'm concerned.
Ketchup. That's what you put on a hot dog.
Exactly.
And I'm from Chicago,
exactly
where putting ketchup on your hot dog would get you shot.
Yo, let me tell you something. Go to your local grocery store. Okay, go to your local grocery store. Go to the aisle with ketchup and mustard, and see how many more bottles of ketchup there are available, different types and everything versus mustard. Mustard sucks balls. Nobody likes it. Okay,
you know ketchup wasn't even served when Nathan's first opened up, right? It was straight mustard.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why nobody knew who he was. Okay. Then he introduced ketchup, and boom, Nathan's hot dogs became a thing. Look it up in the dictionary, okay? That's where they put those facts in the dictionary.
In the dictionary?
In the dictionary?
Oh, well,
that's where they keep the facts. Yes.
All
In
facts
the
are
dictionary, abnormal human, people who
together.
don't like mustard.
Exactly. No, abnormal. Those are normals, okay? Those are the normies. All right. Oh my God. These clowns out here with this mustard. Look, Randall Mustard is bad from Chicago. He has to stay. And Nathan's will. Already, Rand, you see, 2 seconds you're here, and now Mustard's gonna be—it's gonna follow you. Watch.
I don't care. I mean, I am Randall Bland after all, right? So
he is
perfectly fine.
CMoney totally is too. He does not stray from his normal little foods. He can't do anything strange.
Yeah, he cannot.
Because I like good food. Okay, just like Rand.
Well, you wouldn't know because you don't try anything different. So
I've tried them, and they're disgusting.
Yeah, mustard is. Ugh.
It's so bad.
Nothing is worse than mayonnaise, though.
What? Mayonnaise. See, he hates mayonnaise. That I know. I'm not a
Madman can't stand mayo.
My son can't stand mayo. I won't just have mayo, but a light coating of mayo is fine. But mustard is
excessive
just the
mayo. It's a lot, but I don't mind.
Isn't ranch dressing like mayo? Okay, well, whatever.
Is it? We're going down the food wars right now.
I'm pretty sure it's like half mayo or some shit.
Dude, I just feel like when I visualize a hot dog, it's just like a nice strip of yellow mustard along it. It's just like iconic, you know?
Just both. You need both mustard and
these are all lies.
Ketchup
Everybody out there,
Sweet
don't
relish.
listen to this blasphemy on this panel, okay? They're tricking you into believing that mustard is a valued condiment. It's not.
A mustard.
All right.
Nah, I don't like
No,
mayo.
I
I
heard.
don't like mayo either, man.
Listen, from what I heard back in
Y'all
the day,
just
the
weird.
kings and the queens used to just give the peasants mustard and just be like, "Here, nobody wants this. You take it, okay?" And all the kings ate ketchup. Okay, let's be clear.
Ketchup didn't
Why do you
exist
think
back
this
then,
stuff
but
is
that's okay.
red and
Yo,
not yellow? Okay.
As a
If
man,
they were
as a
mustard,
man,
they would wear yellow cloths
there's
and
nothing
capes
worse.
and such.
See, money ain't nothing worse as a man biting into a sandwich that had mustard and then you got that white stuff in the corner of your mouth looking crazy.
Nope. Nope. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Ketchup though looks like you murdered, right? It's like, yeah, I defeated this meat. Look
That's
at
a
all
killer
the
right
blood that I
there.
have to show. That is yeah. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. All right, let's not talk about motherfucking food,
I
man.
know.
What is
This
happening
what
here?
podcast, guys.
Yeah, this is not why we gathered all these people.
Yeah,
Okay.
chat. Mayo in the corner of your mouth is crazy. We
Oh my God.
we can't do that.
It is crazy. It is, how come that one didn't come up here?
I have it. I got you. Alvin, what is up? Thank you for rocking with us.
Thank you, brother, for being here. I'm very perplexed as to why that didn't decide to here you go. Boom. Now I feel better. Says CMoney, Doodle,
Yes,
and this
baby.
all-star panel
Thank
helping me get through this work week
Woo.
until Dune 2 on Saturday. I appreciate you all. Let's have a great show.
Let's go,
Dune 2.
baby.
Is that the movie?
Yeah.
Dune Part 2? Is that coming out? Didn't
Yeah.
Part 1 just come out? What did I miss like a whole like cycle
Yeah,
of
Dune
this
2
movie?
is out. I'm gonna see it on Saturday.
What?
Yeah, Saturday.
Shit. I don't even know what I didn't even watch the first one yet. All right.
Gotta catch
Yeah.
up.
Indeed. And then we got the homie Adidas 20.
Woo.
Thank you for being here, brother.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for that
love.
$5 super chat, man. Says Randall, meet me at Navy Pier. I have a bucket of mustard for you. God damn.
Oh man. I guess I
TC?
should have kept my mouth shut about me not liking mustard.
we appreciate. See, Money
Listen,
appreciates you.
I do. I
bringing
appreciate
this
you coming
up.
clean.
You
letting
know, he's
everybody
trying to
know.
create an Avengers team of mustard hating,
Facts.
you know, superheroes.
So, Rand, can you
Agreed.
complete the circle and say you also don't like olives?
Oh damn!
I
Oh
probably
damn!
don't. I couldn't tell you the last time I've had one, but I probably don't like olives.
See?
Aha!
It's probably
There's
easier to
a
tell you the things I
lineage.
like than the thing. You know what I mean?
There you go. That works. See? Much better. Okay. That's much better. Now you all know that it's not just me. Right? So you can't come at me without indirectly coming at Rand. Right? And Rand won't like that. And then
That's just wrong.
you know, it's not nice to do. See? So all right. Gaming. Well, not really gaming. Game industry, right? Because that's the shit that we've been dealing with this whole month. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, I would say, this month. The month started with all the crazy rumors, right? All the rumors that started small and ballooned into like craziness, right? Starfield, Indiana Jones, Halo, Gears, everything under the sun was supposed to be coming to PlayStation. And then we had the Civil War take place where the line of Xbox fans were divided. And we got to kind of see the I don't know, the hidden ones, we can call them, the ones that we thought were ride or die for Xbox and they turned out to not to be. Being that we've had, you know, the month to kind of look over everything that happened, right? And being that we had the official podcast that clarified a lot of what was going on, you know, we're going to get to what we have going on right this second in life, but I just kind of want to get everybody's stance on things as we kind of move forward into where we are today. So I'll start with you, Rand. Like that whole rumor blowout, the whole Civil War where you saw people going crazy on Twitter. I know you're not a huge Twitter dude, but I know you had to see a bunch of it.
I'm
and then
like
what you see what happened.
slightly more Twitter than Hargeet, who is zero Twitter. If Hargeet's
Yes.
zero, I'm like 1.
Yup, yup, yup.
1%.
Yes. Agreed. The only time Rand tweets is when he has his show. We're going live in an hour.
Yeah,
You know
and then that's
why?
it.
Sometimes that's what it has to come down to when you like, especially when this whole situation took place, all the rumors and everything. You would go in there and it's like, oh man, that is not the mood I want to be in. It got really wild, and that's it's crazy how you can have, and you brought it up, CMoney. It's funny how all these people are out here, but it's like then you're off Twitter and it's like a completely different person. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you're in
for
your
sure.
feelings so hard and like F this, F that. And then it's like, hey, honey, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like a complete opposite, because out there it's just social media and it's so intense. It doesn't necessarily reflect who you are.
Facts. So, Rand, what did you feel about this whole thing, or now that it's settled, when you look back on it, like the crazy rumors, right? The Civil War, and then ultimately the Xbox podcast, like the whole build up to that moment, and then what they actually announced. Where you kind of sit with all of it?
It's been a crazy month. it's really
Facts.
it's really been a crazy month, not only for Xbox but also for PlayStation.
Yes.
Mainly for the entire industry in general. I just saw that EA just announced layoffs like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, Jesus.
So another 650 people gone, and they're moving away from licensed IPs. So I guess say goodbye to Star
Are they?
Wars. That's what they said. They also canceled an unannounced game as well.
Wow.
So it's sad. Like the look, I get, like, you know, the business realities of the things going on, right? And, you know, I'm sure we can all talk about like how we felt about hearing the rumors and what have you, and it's like trying to come to terms, or like about the idea of like, okay, everything that we used to know is changing, the industry, how it's structured. It's like the industry is going to look completely different in 5 years than it did 5 years ago, right? And some people, all right, fine, I'm fine with it. Some people are like, hell no, I'm not okay. So maybe the worst thing for me was seeing just everybody just attack one another, and just people that, you know, had been friends for years suddenly calling each other names over, you know, something as trivial as video games and stuff. That was probably I would get on, or people would send me, you know, because people would, you know, me stuff, and I would look at it and I'm just like, what is going on? I'd be like, what is happening?
It got crazy.
All of it, right? Like, then you got like people going after journalists, and people going after websites, and people going after people who aren't hardcore enough, and people fighting. It was just, this month had it all. It really did. And I don't know if we'll ever see something like it ever again, because I think people realize now that the industry is going to be completely different, and Xbox is going to be different than what it was, and whether or not you're okay with that or not is up to you as an individual person, right? It's not. I guess I wouldn't say I wasn't surprised by the news, because we already had heard a lot of it behind the scenes, about rumors about games going elsewhere. So it was kind of already in my mind that the stuff was happening. It just was a matter of how big it was going to be, like what games where it was going to be. The only ones that I had like knew for sure was Sea of Thieves. Like everybody seemed to have different snatches of information, right? Like I had heard Sea of Thieves like back in November of last year, but I had never heard about Hi-Fi Rush. So that was like a complete surprise to me. And I don't know, it sort of seemed like somebody at Microsoft was like, look, I don't really classify myself as an insider whatsoever. Sometimes people tell me things, but I don't really know anything. Like I just talk to people. No, I've never had a situation where almost everybody I talked to already knew all the information that I had heard. Like, I mean, like I would talk, like Mag would be like, "Oh yeah, I know this," and like a couple other people. I'm like, "What is going on?" I've never like experienced this ever, where like almost everybody all had the same information, and I sort of felt like it almost came from somebody was trying to stir up trouble. Like it was almost a coordinated anti-leak, if you will, by somebody who didn't agree with Microsoft's strategy and was trying to bring it to the point where, like, I was just like, I don't know if I believe any of this stuff anymore, because how does everybody know all this shit? Usually it's locked down at least pretty tightly. So I do think there was probably people at Microsoft who were pretty much at odds with one another about like the business strategy. Some people wanted Xbox to double down on exclusives and see how that would go. And obviously the people, you know, that probably do all the bean counting and the books were like, no, we need more money. And that this time they won. And yeah, and then there's the whole aftermath, and it was just, I'm just sitting, you know, just much like Hargeet, not really doing much on social media outside of doing my podcast, and I'm just watching everybody just lose their minds. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna go read a book or something, or I'm gonna go play a game. Like, I am not one to like just sit there, and you know, I just don't know what to tweet. I guess I'm the opposite of J-Rock, because J-Rock tweets all this stuff and it's always pretty funny. I just don't know what to say. So I'm just like, I just don't say anything. But yeah, it was definitely, I mean, I had friends attacking other friends. And it was just, it's not a situation I wanted to find myself in, where I'm trying to play peacemaker between people. And, you know, it's like, what the fuck happened? I don't, you know, like, I know emotions can run high. We're all Xbox.
It was crazy.
And we want Xbox to do as best they possibly can, right? But to just see people turn on each other over it was super disappointing, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it was vicious.
Yeah, and
You know what I'm saying?
perspective, right? And today I saw a tweet from Everborn Saga. Shout out to Everborn. He said, "Why tell people how they should feel? Instead, tell them how you feel." And I think a lot of it was like kind of like trying to make people see, like, okay, I feel this way, so I'm going to attack you and tell you how things should be, rather, or how you should be feeling, rather than, okay, I understand you feel this way, but this is why I feel this way. And more of a conversation rather than an attack. And that's kind of like what it turned into amongst like everyone in the Twitter world.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, and just also just for everybody on the panel to know that, you know, you can kind of just chime in if you have something to say about what we're talking about at any
Absolutely.
moment. So don't feel it's not only just like, hey, your turn. But
my bad,
let me
CMoney
ask-
was just getting mad emotional in here, so I was like, damn.
yeah. Well, I mean, this is the thing, you know, let me ask you.
You know, when somebody's telling, you know, the story and stuff, like, damn, shit getting deep. Let me not interrupt.
Yeah, you I mean, you feel it because it was crazy. And I mean, honestly, it kind of still is. I just think that now it's settled, and the people who are on the other side of it now are staying on the other side of it. And it just seems like it's wild, because some people who were not involved in the knowing of the leak, so like people who didn't know and just heard about the rumors, right? I've seen some people just take a stance, and now they're just going 100 miles per hour in the other direction, that no, it's all happening, everything's going. I mean, Ram, what did you think about the rumors of how big it all got? Do you feel like it
I think
went too
people
far?
okay, so I think there was like two sections of rumors. There was like Xbox is bringing their games to other platforms, which for the most part ended up being true, right? The Starfield,
games.
Indiana Jones stuff, at least the way Tom Warren presented it with Indiana Jones, was like, Microsoft is considering this. Now, well, I'm considering, you know, running out to McDonald's and picking up a, you know, like a milkshake right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to do it, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like, I mean, yeah, I'm sure they consider lots of things. They're $1 trillion business, right? I'm sure they've considered, like, hey, what would happen if we put all of our games on every single, you know, on every platform, and what would be the benefits and what would be the cons of that? That doesn't necessarily mean you're planning to, right? And then there were the other rumors which just sprouted up out of nowhere. I don't even really know where they came from, which I really think pissed people off in tandem with everything. It was like Call of Duty wasn't going to come to Game Pass on day one, and
it was going to come. It wasn't going to come out on Xbox.
Well,
yes.
And then it was like
April ABK for PlayStation.
Yeah, and then it was then the other one was like, oh, they're changing Game Pass, or they're getting rid of Game Pass, or they're removing day one games from Game Pass, and Microsoft is changing the Xbox name, and it's now going to be Microsoft Gaming and not Xbox Gaming, right? So you had like argue, you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm sure you saw all these things.
There was so much of it, dude. There was so much of it, and every day it just kept escalating and escalating. It's like, dude, I've never heard nothing official. Like, we need to, like, if they do these things, fair enough. Understand. Let me know what the actual thing is first before we jump off the ship.
It's gonna be called Microsoft Game Pass, not Xbox.
Oh yeah,
Game
Microsoft
Pass.
get rid of Xbox.
Yeah.
It's just gonna
Right,
be
and then the games
Phil
come
was
out
no
on
longer with Xbox. Sarah was going to come out and deliver the news. Then Satya was going to come out and deliver the news.
They hired her just to take the fall.
Yes.
And then the games come out on PlayStation just to add to it, and they don't have Xbox on them. And it's like, dude, like, it's just they published with Microsoft Studios.
Right.
Go
It
back
wasn't
to
gonna
some
have
of their
the
older
X
games.
logo.
That's what they have.
It was gonna put the
That's it. They
Windows
just
logo on the
continued
next
it.
console, not the X.
It's like, oh my goodness, it just kept escalating and escalating.
There was no more consoles coming. There's a whole.
It went so far.
It just went so far, and I think that ultimately it really shook the Xbox community. I mean, for sure, it definitely did. And I don't think it helped when some of the people who talked about the rumors or broke these rumors or started talking about them stopped talking about them as rumors and started talking about them as like these things were happening.
Can I say something? I really hate when they, and I don't want to throw my guy Idle Sloth under the bus because I love Idle Sloth, right? But people have a tendency to see something from a tweet from an Idle Sloth or an Akami or from Shinobi or whatever, even if it's just rumor or speculation, and assume it's true all the time.
Yeah.
Even if it literally says rumor, people immediately be like, believe it. They believe it for 100% fact that it's happening. And I think that's an issue because, all these rumors were happening. Nobody knew what was really true, right? And everybody just assumed it all was true. And, I mean, if he was like, oh, Xbox is putting games everywhere and they're getting rid of Game Pass and Call of Duty is never going to be on Game Pass and they're changing the name to if you say all that stuff, people were going to lose their minds, right? But it just ended up being just these four. And that's why I think for a lot of people, the podcast was a nothing burger. Because it's like, oh, it was just the 4 games we've sort of already guessed, right? Even though Phil's kind of just being like, well, it's just these 4, but don't think of any more. But then he's saying, like, exclusives aren't really going to be that much in 5 to 10 years already. Basically foreshadowing how they feel about that moving forward anyways. And then, like, it was weird because then the following week, they announced the games and people lost their minds again.
Again, all over.
I was like, this is happening
started, bro.
Yeah. The worst part. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were so confused.
Why do y'all think, Rand, when you were talking, why do y'all think bad rumors stick to Xbox like mud? It's almost like people are so ready to believe bad news about Xbox. Like, as soon as there's the worst thing, people run with it. People just assume. I think maybe it's because of the 2013, 2014 and Xbox One. But it's like people just want to believe the worst always with Xbox,
and that's why it pissed more people off in the community. It's like, because look, we want to get to a point where at least you're treated fairly for being an Xbox fan. That just never happens. It just doesn't. There's an always pervasive Xbox tax, and like you're saying, every negative thing is amplified 100%. 200%, 400% if it's Xbox, and it's like totally marginalized. Oh, what there was something on something. We don't talk about that. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Why is it a big deal here?
To your point, it also felt like it didn't matter what Phil said on that podcast. I feel like he was already framed in a way that, like, no matter what he said, he wasn't going to win, or like anybody was going to take his word for what they were going to do going forward.
Yeah, I really don't like that. I can't stand it. I feel like this dude went ahead and he saved this brand, right? He saved Xbox, all right? And then he told us words And he kept to those words until a massive change came to the company. And that massive change was ABK, right?
Well, it's
So
not
we
even
can't
a massive
ignore.
change to that company. Just look at what's happening to the industry, right? If
Well,
this
for
had not
sure. I mean,
leaked
it
out,
all goes hand to hand, but yes, you're right.
if this had not leaked out and they gave us this information mid-March, we would have found out that Sony is in a very bad position right now.
Yep.
And that they're looking to do those kind of things.
Mhm.
And then you find out about this, and like the whole mindset's different. It's like, oh, well, Xbox is just doing what like Sony's gonna have to do. Okay, cool. This is a very different place to be in, right? Unfortunately, this stuff gets leaked out instead of it coming out the way it should have, right? Because do you think Phil knows what their financials are? I'll give you a hint. They have a case going on where they have to get all their information. Yeah. They know exactly what's going on with their financials. So he knows what was coming. You know, like, it's just the way it is.
Andy, that's a good question.
Hargi, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. That's what I felt with the rumors. I kind of felt like it was the reaction from hearing what Phil had to say was taken away from me based on the fact that these rumors were made out to be so drastic. And it's like, okay, we still have Xbox. We still have Halo and Gears.
We still got
and
Game Pass.
Yes, we still have Game Pass. So whatever they told us with the 4 games, instead of reacting and kind of saying, okay, you're giving me reasons, but I'm still not okay with you putting our games on PlayStation. And like you mentioned, Hargi, we also would have had a lot more context when it comes to like PlayStation and what they were doing. And possibly because of the FTC and the fact that PlayStation is starting to put games on other platforms, we can say, okay, well, maybe what they're trying to do is share first. Like, okay, let's put these games out here so we don't look like we're just trying to take it all and we don't look, the people are not looking at us in that light.
Like
look
the
at us
FTC
sharing.
and all that shit. Yeah, for sure.
Ren, sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, so like Andy, you mentioned like how does the negative stuff stick to Xbox? I think negativity just sells more on social media in general. People tend to click on videos that are more negative about something rather than positive. They'll click on tweets and retweets and stuff. Outrage sells more than positivity, and I think that's just a plain fact that
a larger base of people that are pro PlayStation or pro Nintendo.
Not when it comes to
PlayStation. Pro
PlayStation.
Xbox.
Exactly, though. That's what I'm saying. Why doesn't the negativity sell for PlayStation? It's like, dude, they're what $100 billion in the red right now.
I would say,
does it? I don't know. Maybe I've got a certain perspective because of like who I follow. So I could be wrong.
I would say it doesn't follow it as much because it's their number one, right? I think Xbox, by virtue of being, see, I don't know what metric you want to go by. If you want to go by console sales, they're third.
The number one
if you want to go by revenue, they're 2, right? If you want to go by whatever else, but like, I think Xbox never shook that.
The third place thing. Yeah,
they never shook off. Like, remember when the media. After the 2013 thing, like the media and even some of the fans basically said Xbox was a joke. They've never fully recovered from that. And I think there's just a section of gamers out there just want Xbox to just go away and die.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Where like you don't really get that with Nintendo or PlayStation.
Yeah.
Even though you might see like some negativity regarding PlayStation stuff, it takes like leaks, the Insomniac leak, for people to fully realize like, oh, damn, stuff is really bad there, right? And for whatever reason, maybe it's just based on like the company structures, but Microsoft stuff tends to leak way, way more than Sony and Nintendo stuff. So Microsoft's internal stuff constantly is put out there for people to see, where you don't really ever hear anything about it from Nintendo at all. And Sony mostly keeps things wrapped up, unless like someone steals it, I guess. But yeah, it's just, I also think it's like a combination of, people love making fun of the loser. Essentially, they love coming back to it. And in this scenario, a lot of people think Xbox is the loser, so they're constantly going to make fun of it. You're going to have accounts that are basically, whole persona is basically just making fun of it. And you combine that with social media's, everybody just wants to focus on the negative, and you end up in that situation where Xbox is always kind of looked down on.
Yeah.
And that's what we end up with.
Yeah.
Right.
It's wild to think that with the amount of studios that they have in the things that they've been doing lately, that they should be looked at in that light. It's kind of like, what have you done for me lately? But yeah, Xbox is out here doing things on a constant,
Yeah. They're constantly
like
doing things lately.
daily. Let's go. And PlayStation, who's done absolutely nothing, but like they've been doing nothing but crumbling, right? And I said it yesterday. Hargeet, you were rocking out with us, and the bad news from PlayStation sticks as long as the good news from Xbox do. Like
Facts.
that's just the dynamic out there. And it's that Xbox tax that we talk about, that bias that we talk about. There's so much, even like with these employees that were laid off and the house freaking burning over there at PlayStation. It's not put out there in the way that they want to put Xbox, and not just by what they do, but also dissecting and looking into the words that are said by the team. And then we have the CEO from PlayStation out here saying 3 times, he had to come out 3 times to say our games are going everywhere, and no one wants to believe it. It is ridiculous. Nobody wants to put light on that situation. Phil hasn't said anything about going third party, but Xbox is the one that has to pay the rent. Xbox is the one that has to freaking go third party and put their games everywhere just after they purchase ABK. It's ridiculous.
Real quick, guys, before we keep going, let me just get the whole video on TJ, man. Thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for being a member for 2 months. My man says, hi, guys. Microsoft needs to go buy Sega and Square Enix to do a full partnership with Take-Two. Bring all games to Game Pass. They will destroy the ponies. I mean, that would be something.
Dude, GTA freaking Game Pass is so expensive. I don't know if that's viable.
Yeah,
that's why this guy, if they're going to do that, they might as well just buy them. You know what I'm saying? Just buy them.
It'd be better to just buy Take-Two. It might cost half as much.
Be like $1 billion easy.
Yeah, Microsoft would essentially own everything at that point. That would be like, okay, it's just you turn on your Microsoft box and you're playing games now.
That's it. Well, that's what they're trying to do anyway.
The monkey paw wish of that, though. Let's just imagine a scenario where they buy Take-Two or whatever, or Square Enix and Sega. All of Microsoft's games would be day one everywhere at that point. Like even all of them. Like there'd be no exclusives.
Well, there might be some that I see what you're saying though, but like Halo and Gears might not. But you're right. The vast majority of the games, they probably would just go third party.
Yeah, they'd be like, listen,
because the marketing would win.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
How much was Take-Two cost? 30 billion? They'd just be like, you know what?
It'd probably be in that range, 40-ish.
Everything's day one now. We're just we sell a console and we're selling people's games, but we're also all of our games are literally everywhere on day one.
Yeah. At that point, Game Pass would just be the exclusive. Because I mean, they're not just going to destroy Game Pass right now. Clearly, they said that. So I mean, you have to look at it and be like, all right, like what I've said and many others said, like eventually Game Pass is going to be the exclusive, and that's what's going to be able to sell at least the console itself. Yes, it's going to be on other platforms, but unless Sony or Nintendo agree to it, which is never going to happen, then your console base will be primarily Game Pass users. Yes, there'll be people that buy games still and stuff like that, but that's what it's going to come down to. It's the box to support the service itself, and we're getting to that point, and it's like I said on Twitter the other day, it's going to be a shock for people. They're not going to understand. I understand that. But at the same time, don't tell me that I'm supposed to be this person that's naive to the fact that they haven't been hinting this to us for a while. And I have the ability to remember what I've said. And I said Game Pass will eventually be the exclusive. And I have to stand on that hill because at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me. It saves me money. I started questioning these rumors when I saw Gears. I said, you're going to take the pinnacle of graphical fidelity on your console. If you're not going to kill the console, why in the heck would you put Gears on PlayStation? Explain that to me. Okay. And on top of that, Halo, regardless, even if they put free to play on there, that's not hurting anybody. But at the same time, that is hurting your brand. And that's specifically what Phil said. And I think that's important to understand. If you still want to sell the hardware and maybe possibly make a new innovative AI hardware, you need to have some pinnacles there. Now, taking Sea of Thieves, which has been out since 2018, and putting it over there and making people sign up for a Microsoft account, which is quite funny. But and putting it over on PlayStation, that is something that could eventually say, wow, I don't really have a experience like this on PlayStation. Maybe I should try X, but that's Series S. That thing's cheap. The people that are logical, that aren't, oh, plastic box till I die. Like, you got to look at that and say,
group of people.
Yeah, they're logical.
It really is. And I throw shade. Like, I'm like, yo, if you put Gears over there, we just have fun smashing y'all. You know what I mean? Like, you have never played. If you are that into PlayStation, you have never played anything like Gears. Sorry, bro. So you could tell me maybe you have, and you're just being a liar, but which a lot of them do, by the way. But you got to go and say, like, the community is starting to supersede the actual box itself, and we have to acknowledge that. Now, if the community is the game plus Game Pass, I don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with a world where I have my controller, my ecosystem, and you want yours, but I could still play with you. Is that for every game? I just brought examples of what not to do. But at the same time, if they bought another big company, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? And then Game Pass is all we got. But at the same time, it's a whole lot cheaper than $70 every game. Just saying.
Yeah, but it's interesting though that Game Pass hasn't really moved the needle. Like people talk about it being the exclusive, and it's interesting still how we're still kind of in this like video game mindset we've been in for the past 20 years, that AAA exclusives, like these big tentpole titles, I feel like that's what motivates people still. And it's not like, I mean, I love Game Pass. I'm obsessed with Game Pass and I play everything on Game Pass, but it's interesting that I feel like Game Pass itself, despite being an incredible value, has not like, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's moved the needle like a ton.
No, it's marketing. Like, how many people do you run into that don't even know what Game Pass is?
Exactly.
That's a problem.
Right. Exactly.
That's a problem.
That's what I was going to say is the marketing.
Yeah.
It's the marketing. Right. On top of that, there are categories of gamers, right? There's people who are just, I play Call of Duty, I play Madden or FIFA, whichever country you're in, and that's pretty much it. Maybe I play NBA 2K or something like that, right? And maybe I'll play like what's it called, Fortnite or Apex, right? So yeah, Madden or FIFA, depending on which country you're in, right? People either play Madden in the US and some other countries, and then most of the world it's FIFA, right? Fair enough, right? That's all you get, a couple of games a year, and you're happy. Some other gamers like a few more, and sometimes you're right, it's these tentpole games. A lot of times it actually isn't even that. It's not really, unless it's Spider-Man or something like that that's very recognizable. Does it really matter? No. The ones where it does actually tend to be something is Nintendo, right? In Nintendo, it's Mario Kart, right? It's one of the like those games that Pokemon, right? That just seem to sell like ridiculous numbers, right? Fine. I don't think that's it. I think it's people just need to know, right? If you said I could basically Netflix my gaming and I just get whatever I want in this subscription and just keep downloading and playing, I think a lot of people would love it if they knew what the hell it was. That's the problem. They just
I think COD going in is a big deal. It's bigger than putting these 4 games somewhere else. I think that's when and I will call them to the fire. If you do not market this correctly, Xbox, you have a problem. I want this in football ads. I want this on basketball courts. I want this everywhere, and I want you to push hard, because you will have the casual gamer looking at it and be like, whoa, wait, I paid that and I get to play COD, and then I get all these other games. Wait, what? Because there's a lot of people that don't play on Xbox, just play PlayStation, but they are a casual gamer that does not have any care in the world about what we're talking about right now. All they want to see is, hey, I save money.
Yeah,
I save money. I can get a console for $300, and I get this service that costs as much as Netflix, which is going to be less at a certain point because they're talking about making that more. And I get all of this, and I get to play my COD. And I get, like, you could talk about the reward points, all these other things that are involved in the ecosystem that nobody, except us knows what it is. And that's exactly, it's marketing.
Yeah. And Chris,
another
I think
point you brought up,
exactly
for them
when
to
Call of
disappoint
Duty
with the marketing
releases,
now.
that's the time to really, really push. That's the game
Right,
that
even saying
we
that,
know all these ponies are out here playing hardcore.
Sorry, what were you saying, Fuzzy?
No, I was saying be prepared to be disappointed with their marketing, and I'll give you a couple of good examples of why.
Yeah, it's always I'm always disappointed with them.
They've had this deal with GameStop for a little over 2 years now, where they were going to be at the front of the store for all GameStops, and just 2 weeks ago they did the Game Pass demo. That should have been from day one. They had that agreement that they're going to be at the front of the store. They should have been giving out like 3-day or 7-day card trials for Game Pass. You know, you come to the store, you have the Series S setup, which I don't even think a lot of the stores have like the displays like they used to, where you could actually try the games. That should have been a thing from day one. Once they had that deal with GameStop, that they should be doing something where you can demo the games and, oh, here's 7 days for Game Pass. Oh, and by the way, you know, we have the console where you get 3 months of Game Pass included, and you're out the door with it. And that would have been an easy sell, as far as, even if the person doesn't buy it right then and there, they're at least aware of it. They experience it. They see there's, you know, 400, 500 games that they can choose from. I think it would be stuck in a lot more people's minds. You have the Halo series on Paramount. You could incorporate a commercial before the show starts up, or in the credits towards the end of, you know, hey, enjoying the show or enjoying what you see here, be able to play the same type of action on this console or through Game Pass, even if it's through a web browser. If you don't want to advertise the console, at least advertise that you can play the game through the browser or what have you. Because obviously, if the person's streaming Paramount, they have good internet to at least do the streaming. They should be able to get Game Pass without much of a problem, or get Game Pass Ultimate. That's like my biggest gripe with them, is that they step on rakes when it comes to easy layups. Like, they now have the king of marketing as far as a mascot. They have Crash Bandicoot. Like, thing I've been saying ever since that ABK deal was done, whether it's Aaron Greenberg or somebody within the walls of Microsoft needs to be in that costume, going out in front of PlayStation's headquarters. Like, they could have spun this whole sharing games thing easily by having them out there with a bullhorn and be like, "Oh, I heard you guys don't have any games. Well, here's some games.
Here's how you release a game."
and I'm pretty sure, even though it's them making fun of them sharing the games, but I think that would have caught more attention, and that would have been more of a positive spin on the whole sharing games thing.
Yeah,
that's stuff that they need to do, but it's like they're too afraid to take these risks because of their, you know, it could backfire on them. But then they go with this mixed messaging stuff sometimes, and it winds up being a bigger, you know, rake in the face kind of deal than taking no action at all.
They're too enterprise. That's the problem. They have too much of an enterprise focus. They don't have a consumer focus. You need to be bold with consumers. You just have to, and they have to do much better advertising.
You know what's funny, Fuzzy? That on Xbox they advertise Paramount Plus. On Paramount Plus, they won't advertise Xbox.
Yeah, of course not.
That's the other way around.
So, Andy, to your point, right? So, like, this whole thing with the layoffs happened with Sony, and Xbox just, you know, in last week or so, put out these things of putting games on other platforms. Shouldn't there be articles saying opinion? Should PlayStation consider putting their games on Xbox and Switch?
Well,
what are the articles?
Well, they've already put a ton. PlayStation has already put a ton of their. That's what people are missing, is like there's so many PlayStation. I mean, I know they're not PlayStation Studios. I know there's a difference, but it's like so many PlayStation exclusives have gone.
Yeah, but those were all money hats, and that's what the thing is.
Yeah,
like,
they
the
were
money hats. I don't count. Right. I don't care, because it's not their work, right? So it's not their studios.
Yeah.
So why not put their freaking ridiculously over expensive games that are not making enough money on the other platforms? Yeah. Where's the article that says that? That should be an article that one of the media people writes, right? It should just be obvious. You should be writing that, right? If you're looking at the industry from a very non-biased perspective, you would say, "Hey, this side did that." If that side's having problems, gee, they seem to be saying they have problems. Why not do the same thing? What's the difference?
Are you saying they should just do what they do for Xbox Studios? Is that what you're saying?
That's right, J-Rock.
Right? I mean, look, they expect Xbox.
What
is this Xbox game coming over there? Why isn't this Xbox game coming? Like, all the time, right? Why? Blade gets announced. Oh, is that coming out to PlayStation? Indie, that's coming out to PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Well, why are you even asking? When do you ask God of War? Is that coming out to Xbox? That's coming out to Xbox, right?
Yeah.
When do you ask that?
I mean, Returnal would be a perfect one to put on Xbox.
What was that?
What do you call it? The Ratchet and Clank, because those are the ones that underperform.
Why not? Right. Well, the other one there by Bend.
Days Gone.
Days Gone. Why not?
Yeah.
Is that a system seller? Did that sell a whole bunch of PS5s? Did it sell a whole bunch of PS4s?
You're not wrong, Hargy. This is the thing. They go ahead. Phil told us the 4 games. He said that is it. Ponies. That's what I heard. I heard it just like that.
I heard him say
Ponies, I'm
ponies,
talking to
for
you.
sure. That's a
That's
direct
it. You're
quote.
getting shit else.
I think he said bitch ass before.
Bitch ass at the end, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and then they're still out there trying to figure out what other games will come to PlayStation from Xbox, even after Phil said this. And it's like, why don't we talk about what games the CEO, the current CEO of PlayStation, is talking about? How about let's dive into that and let's figure out. Let's start speculating what games are coming to Xbox.
Let's
what
figure out what
games
the
are coming to
additional
Nintendo?
devices
What games make
Harmon
sense to
Holster.
put there, and where would they make the most money, considering the fact that they're broke?
Yeah.
Facts. Real quick, let me introduce the man who has just got here. The homie, Ham Solo, man. Welcome, brother. Thank you for being here, man.
He said BRB in the private chat. I don't know if he's actually
did he?
back.
Oh, all right, all right. Well, that was the wrong time to do that.
I done did that. All right, well, we'll see. Well, we'll take while he does that, let me go ahead and get the homie Demo Flow Gaming. Thank you, brother, for being here. Thank you for that $2 super chat. Says Adidas 20, bringing the Xbox community together.
Let's go.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Indeed. And then, oh shit, man, we got the homie Mash. Oh man, my homie, man. Thank you for being here,
so
bro.
Much.
He gifted 10 OnPoint for gamer memberships, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Y'all know what to do. Put the motherfucking welcome to the family emoji in the chat.
Yes.
Welcome our newest members to the fam. We appreciate each and every one of you. And Mash, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
That was really, really cool of you. Thank you, bro. You got the homie Alvin. Thank you again, brother, for being here. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Says
so much.
Yesterday, the Helldivers community saw the robot planet fall. If Halo Firefight and Gears Horde vets had access, it would have been saved. Just saying. Yo, listen, we know those PlayStation dudes were not showing up for that game.
Nope.
And they didn't disappoint. Okay? They went ahead and did what these PlayStation ponies do, and they don't show up for any of the games they cap for on Twitter. All right. They talk about them. Oh man, we got this.
They talk that talk.
And it's like, yo, Steam outed you, bro, because you only had so many people playing off of PlayStation. How you gonna have 4 mil sales, 3.8 come off of Steam, 200,000 coming on PlayStation? That's crazy. That's embarrassing.
It is.
I mean, we don't know if the actual numbers are that, but
I mean, it's pretty close. You can see, you can see that none of them are playing it, bro.
Maybe they're busy playing Foam Stars.
That's where they are. That's where they are.
I heard that. Faster than Destruction
during during our show last night, there was literally a Foam Stars tournament that the PlayStation YouTube channel was streaming. Was hosting.
Oh no!
Like, come on.
Did they get 2 people? 3?
Did anybody come in?
I heard it's just a computer playing. They just have the AI running. Like, let's see who wins.
We might have more people here.
Yo,
right?
seriously.
Dude, you think Xbox's marketing is bad? Theirs is worse. PlayStation's marketing is awful.
Yeah.
They don't have anything to market right
now. It was really good, and then now it's kind of fallen off. It has.
Yeah.
They've overspent. That's the problem. You see the money that went into Spider-Man, you think of how much they spent on marketing, and you see what came back in. It doesn't matter if they're using the same freaking foundation. The money that's going now, it's not coming in. And if it does, it takes too long to get that money back, which means that the money that they're getting is not funding their next game.
Yeah. Yo, that's true.
Ham Solo in the house.
Solo.
Let's
you
go.
Missed your intro.
Yes.
I did not see
happy
I did not see the BRB.
You
know what I'm saying? So
I had to grab my camera charger and a couple other things. I was looking like a ragamuffin just a little bit ago. I tell you, the one thing I am not doing is following P. Diddy. That man's out of his damn mind right now.
Did he turn
Things
into a
are
pony?
looking absolutely tragic online right now.
What is happening with P. Diddy? I didn't know people followed him.
Like
this
that.
might be an after the show talk, bruh.
Really?
Like, Fuzzy, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm
No,
saying.
send us
Tell him
receipts,
no.
please.
That right now, bro.
You know what it would be.
Well,
This, you know how you guys cuss and it's very R-rated.
yeah.
Yes.
This is a few ratings above that.
Oh,
Woo.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he's on that crack.
Send us.
Yeah.
Send us.
Just know when he said
pony
take
powder.
that,
I told you if it's when they
it
lied.
gets good.
P. Diddy is on that pony powder.
You said Meek Mills? What happened
Something.
Ham, what happened to Meek Mills? What happened?
Oh my
Oh yeah,
God,
Meek Mills in that
man.
black porn.
What
side
is
or some shit
happening
like
in general? Why, J-Rock, why
Oh
was that
my
the first
God.
thing you said to me? Oh,
He said to grab his ankles.
Man, Meek Mill is fighting for his motherfucking life right now.
He tried to get
Like
away.
R.
He
Kelly?
said,
Is what you're saying?
won't stop, can't stop. Bad boy.
Oh my God.
Stop, can't stop.
Oh, what has happened? What has happened? Well, Ham Solo,
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you for
For
being
being here,
here. I'll be
brother.
waiting on those receipts, please.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you showing up, man. We know you're
My
busy,
phone would be
man, so-
violated if I send you some of that stuff.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Oh my God.
Is that
Look at
bad?
Fuzzy. He know I ain't lying.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Damn.
All right. Well, let me get Draw TJ back in this bitch.
These are my
Save us
TJ,
some
what's
Diddy's.
up, baby?
We need a Diddy savior. Draw TJ, man. Thank you for being here, brother. Thank you for that $10 super chat. Says, give the ponies all the games. Let them fund Xbox Studios. I can chainsaw Pony and Gears and teabag them in Halo. They want to make more money. Do you want Game Pass to go up in price? I don't want to have Game Pass go up in price.
I don't want that, but I will pay more to not have Gears
It
or
can't be
Halo,
all over
those type
like
of
that's the
games
thing. Like I
out
don't think
there.
there's
That's too
anything.
much.
I don't think Xbox could buy anything that would make them put everything over there.
Yeah.
And I know Rand, you had said it before if they bought like Take-Two and everything like that, but I just feel like they would just keep, Grand Theft Auto, right? NBA 2K, the things that make them the most money are gonna stay multi-platform, right? But they'll take the smaller games that they're gonna make or the other AAA games that are not well known, and they'll still keep them, man, because you still need a reason, whether it's your console or whether it's your subscription service, right? Like you can't realistically think somebody's going to subscribe to Game Pass or buy your console if everybody can still have access to the games while getting the other games that they want, right? Like I don't know.
Shit, I'll buy it. I'm sorry.
I mean, if that was a situation, we'll have to do what we have to do, but I just don't think
I'm gonna
I
keep
just don't
buying
think-
Xbox consoles until they go out of business.
Facts.
Absolutely.
100%.
Because I'm not
100%.
just gonna give up all the stuff I purchased. Like that's not happening. It's just not
Man, I
happening.
just
As long as
prefer
they continue
Xbox.
to support my library, I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm going to PlayStation so I can restart. No, I'm good.
What are you going to do there?
There ain't
There's
shit to
nothing
do
there
there
to
anyway.
do. That's the thing. It's wild to get rid of your Xbox or say I'm no longer with Xbox. For what? Are you going to stop gaming? PlayStation ain't got no games. I mean, look at their lineup.
But Doodle, have
their
you tried the
roadmap. It ain't
DualSense?
there.
Have you held the DualSense controller?
It's horrible.
It is.
It's horrible. That's like going on a plane trip somewhere and you don't like the destination, so you jump off the plane and land on a deserted island and you're just fucked there for life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's PlayStation.
that
That's the
movie?
deserted island that's down there, man.
Castaway.
What's the-
We may not like
Jeff
where it's
Keighley's
going,
like-
but at least it's
Jeff
going
Keighley's-
somewhere safe. and good.
PlayStation's like blow into the controller, and Jeff Keighley's like, I want to blow back.
Oh my God.
Well, he was just advertising
Give you a
smell.
good scent of what
smell.
we're dealing with around
He
here.
was just advertising smells or something. I don't know.
Jesus.
Dude, the
Alrighty
It's like
then.
the pizza controller. What the fuck?
dude, the DualSense controller. That's the true exclusive. Is the DualSense controller?
So on the topic of the back catalog library that you all have, like that is a cool thing that Xbox does. On the PlayStation side, they've done it for one generation. Is that really the end of the world? I mean, like, okay, it's cool. I can play my OG Xbox games on an Xbox. I can play my 360 games. I can also play my Xbox One games, but that really only happens in PS5 from PS4. Right? Somehow this idea that you have this massive catalog, really? Do you? Do you actually have this massive catalog? You do on Xbox because it goes
On
way the
Xbox,
hell
for sure.
back. But you don't necessarily have that on a PlayStation. I know Phil thinks that like, oh, this is the time that people bought. Do you think they bought like 50,000 games? There weren't even 50,000 games. Like honestly, like what is the and if you went and said, okay, I had to buy like 10 games again, how much is that going to cost you?
Yeah. Well, and that's that's the genius of Game Pass. Is when you come over,
which eliminates that too,
right? I am always amazed how many bangers are on Game Pass. Like going through EA, through games from like 2010, 2011. I'm like, all the Crisis games are here. All of the just tons of old games.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to do for sure.
Certainly on Steam, I can take it, right? Because Steam, like it's God knows how many years, right? And PC games.
Well, even that, some of like the oldest games, you need like other software to kind of manipulate it to work because it just doesn't go back that far. But yeah, for the most part, for sure. Draw TJ back to back, man. Thank you, brother, for being here. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Says, yo, CMoney, check your DM in Discord. Remedy bought the full rights for Control from 505 Games. Interesting. Why would they need to do that? I wonder.
Because they needed more control.
They're on that Alan Wake 2 money.
Control 2.
Maybe Microsoft is pulling up with a bag. Like, Remedy, we do want that.
Hey, it could be PlayStation. It could be somebody. Whatever, right?
Please, okay.
Stop telling jokes, Huggy.
That would be a great
These
look.
motherfuckers can't pull up to the grocery store, let alone pull up and buy a studio at this point. All right, don't be doing those
to be
jokes
fair,
out
it could
there.
be somebody else like EA. It could be Take-Two, right? We don't know. Anybody else could be looking at them as well.
Sam Lake needs to hold on to that with his dear life.
Anthem
Don't give it to anybody. Just hold on to it so you can be the next Kojima guy.
I don't know. He doesn't get the respect like Kojima does.
Well, he deserves it.
Oh, Adidas 20. Thanks, brother, for that $5 super chat, man. Says Foam Stars pre-orders that were taken at Bath and Body Works. You can now pick up your bottle of cologne.
Calgon.
Oh my god. That's fucking funny. The homie Pomoro, man. Welcome, brother. Thank you for being here, man. Thank you for that community to that super chat. Says, greetings all. Please explain Dark Doodle. And PlayStation sucks.
It does.
Listen.
It does.
Dark Doodle is the Doodle that you know and love here. But sometimes when she gets passionate about something, specifically something to have to do with ponies being stupid or you know any of those things,
it goes from Doodle rant to
then
Dark
she comes
Doodle.
out.
Yeah.
And she don't take no shit from nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just to be clear. So that is what Dark Doodle is. But Dark Doodle, I mean, the ponies haven't had much to be stupid about recently. I mean, they have, but not
They're
like
laying
crazy.
low. So the Doodle rants come out every once in a while. But
the Doodle rant,
Dark Doodle, she'll be out soon. I'm sure they'll do some
I'm
stupid
sure.
shit.
I'm sure they'll do some dumb shit to get us there again.
Is Dark Doodle like Dark Rand?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is.
I took my rants too far, and the chat started to call me Darth Doodle and Dark Doodle, so we had to make an emoji for it. Yeah, she comes out sometimes to play.
Yeah. She's not and then we found out that Dark Doodle doesn't only live on YouTube. Okay, sometimes Dark Doodle comes out on these streets. Okay, and people say the wrong thing out there, and then they find out what Dark Doodle is.
Dude, everybody's wife has a Dark Doodle side. Gotta see it come
Your
out.
wife's gonna be yelling at you and shaking. I'm like, okay, Dark Doodle, Jesus, sorry. Oh my god, that's gonna be great.
Hey, I want to ask Rand a question. Rand, so I know I feel like you're kind of a little celeb in the Xbox community.
No, I'm not.
You are, dude.
Rand doesn't want to be put on that pedestal.
Okay.
Don't you redirect that to me, sucker. Dare. I have like 1,100 followers. You get out of here with that bullshit.
Okay. Xbox celebrities are going out bad. We don't want Rand. We don't want that juju on us. Right now.
Want that. Yeah, right. R.I.P. Tim Dog, the homie.
No, but my question is, Rand, do you know Phil, dude? Do you hang out with him? Do you talk to him?
I mean, I talk to him. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't. I haven't gamed with him in a while, but
have you met him in person?
Yes, I've met him.
Oh, dude, that's wild. You just fire off.
There's a picture of him with him, right? Like, did you like break your million with him or something like that?
I broke the million. With
he
him.
broke the million on stage.
Did you
2016?
Yep.
Rand, during this whole debacle, did you text Phil? That's my only question. Did you text Phil?
I did talk to Phil before and after. Yeah.
Dude, that's wild. I was joking, but that's
dude. Red is the man with the million,
bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
what, you want to? Do you want to share that
royalty,
dude? You gonna share that convo? Like, I just want
to. I doubt that that's gonna happen.
Anything you can share with us.
Conversation, obviously he's not gonna tell me anything. So
right, yeah. Dude, that's cool. I didn't know y'all. You just could text the guy.
Well, it's not like I have his phone number.
Okay. Yeah, but he'll respond though when you send a message to him. Yeah. That's cool.
Listen, it's royalty, man. Royalty. It's the truth. It's the truth.
All right. Yeah, I guess anybody does. You just get on find P3 on Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, you see people text him all the time when he's in a game, and that's how we found out that they're trying to get all the cloud. How do you say it? All your own games be playable on the cloud. So I think he told somebody that they're trying to get that done this year.
Yeah. He told them on Xbox that they're going to try to get all the other games available to the cloud.
Yeah, I remember how upset people were because he was when all this shit was breaking. He was just sitting at home playing Diablo 4. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He loves that game. Yeah.
He was just like
on it.
He was just like online playing Diablo 4 where the shit was hitting the fan. Everybody was like, well, "What's this guy doing? Just sitting at home while this."
Hey, but
listen,
Andy,
he's telling everybody to calm the hell down and go play some games. That was the message.
Yeah.
You know what message I got from him sitting there playing Diablo? I was like, this dude's calling
that, Jay.
I was like, this dude, Phil's sitting there just thinking, man, bunch of idiots. You guys just need to chill.
Yeah.
True. Like, and I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, oh, he's playing like I've seen everybody posting, oh, this is the world is burning and he's playing Diablo, and I was like, because the world's not burning, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
So how did you feel when all these rumors came out, Ham, and how did you feel about the aftermath? Like when how far these rumors went, you saw Twitter kind of like just burned down and everybody kind of taking sides. And then Phil, Sarah, and Matt come out here, do a podcast, and they say what they need to say. How was that for you?
I'm gonna tell you right now, you can check my Twitter on that like Sunday where everybody was like losing it.
Mm-hmm.
I literally put out put a post on Twitter, and I had the Killmonger thing where where he sits in the chair and just sits back, and he's just chilling in the chair from the movie Black Panther, and I was like, dude, I'm just gonna chill until I hear the word from them. Like, all these people freaking out, switching sides, acting like they've lost their minds, selling it, throwing it in the trash. I'm like, dude, like, you guys don't have any official information, and you're ready to jump from the roof. Like, you guys are out of your mind. And then after like they came out with the information and whatnot, I still looked at it for what it was. I was like, oh, that was a little skittish. Didn't love everything that was said, but the thing that I cared about the most, they reiterated for me, and I was happy to hear it. More consoles to come in the future, a surprise thing towards the end of the year. And I know they got plenty of games, so I'm just sitting back like, yo, y'all are all tripping. They're talking about 4 games going to another platform, and they got like 50 studios. Y'all worried about 4 games? And then at the same time, I'm thinking, like, in my opinion, I think, Xbox could probably pump out like 10 games in a year.
Yeah,
right?
They said they are.
They all won't be AAA, sure. But they could pump out all those games. If 1 or 2 ends up on another console, that doesn't do anything to me. You know why? Because they gotta buy it. It's on my subscription service. I get the choice whether I want to buy it or not.
Exactly.
Them over there, they gotta buy it and deal with it. And you know PlayStation ain't finna refund them shit. So
no.
So you are done as soon as you pretty much buy that game and turn it on. As for Xbox, I got Game Pass. I'm happy with it. I have all these different ways to play. I hop on my Steam Deck, which I do have Windows installed on it. Play Game Pass games on there. Hop onto my Xbox. Series X. Hop onto my Series S. Hop onto my PC. Play Power World and start and literally continue to go from wherever I was. Play Starfield. Continue to go from wherever I was. Persona, same thing. And especially first party Xbox titles, those go everywhere. So it's just like people are throwing a hissy fit, and I'm just like, did we lose access to something? Like, I'm lost.
Yeah.
What's happening here? Like, I'm still getting what I need by the end of the day, and I don't work there. I don't have stocks in it. I literally turn on the console, check out the store. Do I want to buy anything today? No. Keep it moving. Show everybody what I've been playing on Twitter every once in a while. Show video game clips during my shows on YouTube.
Yep.
It doesn't change my life that Sea of Thieves is on fucking PlayStation. It doesn't change my life that Hi-Fi Rush is on PlayStation, a niche title, right? I think it'd be weird if I seen a Starfield over there, but still, I think about that and I'm just like, wow, I got like 15, 20 days in that game. And they're going to get it, what, in like a year or something? If ever? Like, I'm sorry, been there, done that. I mean, it's just like you saying, man, like, you went to that dope restaurant 2 years before I did. Like, I want to keep you from being able to have that kind of food because, you know, I gotta block you away from you can't have what I ate. It ain't cool. Nah, fuck that, man. I don't give a damn what you eat, what you do, what you play, how you feel. Like, I'm good at the end of the day. I'm solid. I don't like I said, I don't work for these companies. I'm coolin'.
Ham said he hit it first. It don't matter.
That's it.
Goddamn right. Wore it out.
Oh my god.
I am curious to hear from you guys. What if this had gone the other way? Like, would everybody here still be committed to Xbox if they were like, oh man, and I'm so glad this didn't happen. But if they were like, yeah, Starfield, Indiana Jones, everything's coming to PlayStation this fall, like, how would y'all have reacted? And by the way, very glad that did not happen, but I'm just curious.
I mean, I would not have been happy.
No, not
I
at
would.
all.
I would have been here. I mean, nothing was going to change because I'm not. Kind of like Ham said, you know, I'm not. Unless they would have taken away Game Pass. Like, if they would have said something about Game Pass leaving and being, then I would have been really mad.
Yeah, they took away day and date, like the rumors said, right?
Yep.
If they would have took away day and date, then I would have been mad.
Hey, that's when my ears started to tingle. I was like, wait a minute. What you mean day and date is going away?
Yeah, I think that would have been. I mean, again, I don't think I wouldn't have gone anywhere. I don't like PlayStation. Xbox doing something that I don't like is not going to make me like PlayStation better.
That's the thing.
You know
That's the choice of words. Yes,
Listen.
it's like it's not going to change how you feel about PlayStation, their community, the ponies. Like,
we would
just,
bitch.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
the podcast would be different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but it had to come from them, and it did not.
That's
right? And so
that's right.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And I was going to say, for me, it's like, guys, if every single game went to PlayStation, I'm still like, I'm going down with this ship. I love Xbox. And for me, at the end of the day, I thought about what is the real exclusive for me. And it's like my friends list. It's hanging out with my friends in party chat. And it's like, as long as my homies are on Xbox, like, that is such a huge exclusive for me. And like, my friends aren't going to PlayStation. My friends have always been on Xbox, and they're always going to be here. And like that is the end of the day exclusive for me is the ecosystem, you know?
The ecosystem, yeah. The
Well,
brand.
so the network effect is the major problem, right? If everything goes over, right, this generation is kind of maybe going to tail out at maybe 40, 50 million consoles, right? We don't know when it actually ends. But let's say it gets to that. The next generation, your incentive to buy this would go down. And because for a lot of people in the world, it's tough to buy multiple consoles, right? We speak from a very Western world where, yeah, I can buy multiple consoles, whatever, right? That's not the average person on the planet. It's just not. So you have to think about what you're going to go after, right? And the value proposition, if not marketed correctly, doesn't work. And that's where they are right now. They don't tell people that you can get Game Pass. Hell, you can get Xbox All Access, get the console and Game Pass for a very low monthly cost. They don't even freaking market that. I maybe 1% of gamers even know about that. That's ridiculous. That's their fault. But they should definitely be marketing that and making that available to people everywhere. But this is the thing you run into. If people don't buy the box, then Game Pass will also diminish because, well, they won't have the install base. That's a problem, right? So you have to look at the network effect of what happens. It may not matter to you because you can just go buy the Xbox. How many people would forego it? If there's no install base, there's no Game Pass subscribers, and that's the thing. And look, this could all eventually it's going to. I've been saying 5 to 10 years they're going to do it anyway, right? But there's other things they put in place that make it work, and that's what they need to get done, right? The first thing I've offered is merge it with Windows. You're done. It doesn't matter at that point. Once it's Windows, you have a billion players. It's over. The game about console wars, it's done. It's over, right? And that way the games are coming to you. It doesn't matter. Right, games will only come if there's an install base. That's a problem.
What do you mean by merge it with Windows?
So 60-ish% of what the Xbox is already Windows, right? But if you want to bring a game to Xbox, you have to specifically port it to Xbox. You could just take that away and say it basically runs a hypervisor. It basically takes Hyper-V from Windows as the base layer. It then has a virtual machine that gives you your UI of another virtual machine that runs a game. So that layer is the Xbox game layer. That does not have to be Xbox game layer. It could just be Windows 12. And if it's Windows 12, you literally just write the game for Windows, and you say, I'm going to put it in the Microsoft Store. That's it. You're done. You're now on Xbox. Wow. You could optimize it if you want to. That's a good idea. You don't have to. You could optimize it, though, and you could now make it even perform better. However, we always find that they don't really optimize on Xbox anyways. They do that on PlayStation. And then they just throw some crap out on Xbox. At least you get the game, right? If it's there, it's there. If it's on Windows, it's on Windows, right? It eliminates the need for you to go out there and say, please put your game on Xbox, because you're going to put it on PC anyway. So but the difference to you is
third parties don't even put their games on the Windows Store.
That would be the thing they'd have to push for, right? The other option they could do is actually patch in Steam. The problem with that is the install process is not as clean, right? If you have it in the Microsoft Store, it's essentially the same. It's a containerized box of the game, right? So that's what they kind of need to have. So if they can convince them to do that, that's a very, very small amount of work in comparison.
I don't know. They can't even convince them to put their Steam games on the Microsoft Store. I'm not sure they'll be able to convince them to do any of that. Let alone having to redo all the licenses for the back and pat stuff, because you'd lose all that because all the licenses
you assume that that's a thing. You assume
that's a thing.
No, it's not a thing, right? Because you're still bespoke hardware. It's still an Xbox console. I'm not saying take your homebrew Windows desktop and say give it Xbox. That's not what I'm saying. It's still an actual Xbox box that you buy. It's just
it would be more akin to a Steam Deck, is what you're saying, almost like a Steam box, where it would be the same way where they would be making the game for PC as normal, but then it would be like just like the Steam Deck has that what's it called? Steam Deck certified or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, and they just convert it.
Where they just in this case developer makes a version
for that.
Specs. Yeah, that switch to there. Yeah. He's suggesting they do that and make Xbox the quote unquote Steam Deck, right? Like it'll be verified for Xbox.
Yeah, it's still an Xbox box, just
being the same way.
The other option is to go third party and buy a whole bunch of things and market everything, right? And you have to do good marketing. But if you market every game, like the next, GTA is marketed by Xbox, well, it will just be associated with it. COD will be associated with Xbox, right? You just keep doing that, and then people just assume, oh, that's on Xbox. Okay, cool. I'll go get an Xbox, right? That would be the way to keep the numbers up. But I don't know. That's up to them to figure out, right? So. But that is the headache, right? It's not I would throw away my Xbox. It's more what happens to the ecosystem going forward. Would they have enough sustained user base to continue to give you Game Pass, for instance? And they're making the calculus. That's why they did this test, right? They're figuring out they have to have a brand, right? So they're figuring out what would work Just like, by the way, what PlayStation's going to have to do is figure out what would work on another platform because they're going to need to do it.
I was
That's the way
actually
it is.
gonna go right to what you were just finishing up by saying, Hargy, and it's that PlayStation's doing a lot of the same stuff, just in a lot slower pace. Like people, it seems like they have already forgot that Marathon's coming to Xbox. Like, yo, that's a place. Like, it doesn't matter how they want to word it. They're owned by PlayStation.
Save me the stipulations.
It's the same thing as Sea of Thieves going to PlayStation. At this point, it really is. It really is. If a Bethesda game is going to PlayStation and a Bungie game is going to Xbox, I'd like somebody to tell me what the difference is.
Yeah,
there is none.
Yeah, pony powder.
Pony powder is the difference. Pony powder is the difference. You're welcome for that. Now that image will always be with you.
Dude,
You'll know that that's the truth.
if that comes over, that'd be good.
I think that's the one
For
that's
them,
most
right?
likely
For help
comes
for
soon.
Arrowhead.
Damn, you
Let me
know
get
what's
the
also
homie-
what's
Oh, go ahead.
what's
Jared.
also
Go ahead.
interesting, right?
Let's crack.
EA, right, is moving away from licensed IP before they're moving away from their day and date subscription service. That's wild.
Yo.
Yes.
Wait,
so
they're
still
getting rid of their
keep
day-and-date?
subscription. No, they're
No,
keeping
they're
it.
moving away from licensed IP, so they're canceling the next
They don't
Star
have to
Wars
pay for the
game.
licenses.
But
Oh,
they're
they
keeping their
canceled
day and
the
date,
Star
right?
Wars game.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
canceled
yeah.
the Mandalorian first person game.
Yeah, the Mandalorian.
Are you shitting me?
That's wild.
Nope.
Yep.
They also shut down a studio they just built too.
Yep.
Are you shitting me?
Was it Respawn?
That was Ridgeline Games that was making a Battlefield single player game. They just built.
Oh
them.
yeah, we remember
They
them.
just shut them down.
So they shut them down and okay. Well, wow. All right.
A lot
well,
of changes.
Yeah,
But they're
we'll-
keeping the day and date. Is
They're
that
keeping
right?
their day and date
yeah, the
subscription
EA
service,
Pro.
but
Yep,
moving
cool.
away from licensed IPs.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
we'll,
other
we'll
than
dissect
football.
that too.
So
because
this goes
that's
back
interesting.
to the Insomniac leaks, right? When we were seeing the contract details, and we were like, "How the hell are they even making any money on these things?"
Yep,
Like,
because
E-
Disney
EA
and Marvel are not fucking
EA
around.
is backing it up. They're getting rid of their licensed IPs.
EA did confirm that the third Star Wars Jedi Survivor
coming out.
is coming.
Yeah,
But
So they didn't
that's
cancel
good.
that
That's
one.
good though. No.
But after that, it does sound
Yeah.
like they're pivoting it away from licensed IPs. They're going to focus on owned IPs.
That's
Makes
wild.
sense.
Wow.
Keep more of the money in
Madman
your
was super
pocket.
excited about the Mando.
Good for
Well,
them.
I guess maybe Xbox might
Maybe
take that
they can
Mando
actually
license.
stick with their projects. That'd be pretty
Now,
cool.
now let me ask you guys: do you think
I wouldn't
Blade will
bother.
still be exclusive, or
I
believed
would
to
say
be
at least a
exclusive?
1 year.
Yeah, it's tough.
I would say at
I
least a
feel-
1 year exclusive.
Listen, I feel based on, and again, like thoughts are one thing. I really don't have thoughts because they don't really matter. Like, I mean, I can think about it, but at the end of the day, I'm just going based off of Phil's answer. And Phil's answer was that those 4 games were coming, and anything else will have to meet the criteria of being at least a year old, be a live service game that's been out for a little while and it's already kind of maximized its growth. And if it's a single player game, it's a small experience. And that's it. Small
I feel
experience.
like
And it
Blade
can't
is such a
damage the
big
brand.
deal.
I feel like
to have
I feel like Blade would
on
damage the brand
Xbox,
if you
I feel
moved
like
it
it
away.
needs. Yeah, he said not to the detriment of the brand. I feel like putting Blade on PlayStation would not be a good thing. I mean, they have their Spider.
That's years
King,
away,
let
Yeah,
them
right?
keep
because
that.
then the question would be like,
Yeah.
why are we giving them Blade and we don't have Spider-Man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or why are we
But,
giving them
like,
Blade and
Indy's
we're not
coming
getting
up.
Wolverine?
What do you
Yeah.
think happens
Indy's
with that
not-
one?
I think
Well,
it's.
I mean, Indy tells you the same thing for Blade, right? It's the same deal.
Well,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yep.
Indy's kind of like what's that game that you love, see, on PlayStation?
Oh, Uncharted.
Yes, thank you.
Uncharted.
Thank you.
With
So
the
it's
first
kind of
person.
like, okay, well, like I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to
I just
have
feel like if
our
they were gonna do
exclusive
that-
versions.
They would do Indy.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's.
but so
don't know. I
Indy
don't
is
know.
licensed
Blade.
though, right?
I think Blade is so far away that there's enough time for them to look at whatever data they want to look at and then decide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true too. By
That's
then,
also probably why they didn't put it on there, right?
Yeah, well, there's also like 2027, I think, is the rumor from Grub. And I know we hate insiders these days, right?
I don't know. We're good with rumors.
But Grub
I
put
hate
out
it.
there that it was targeting 2027. Maybe you keep that exclusive for maybe a year because you will have a new console supposedly to sell in 2027. So maybe that one is like, okay, we'll keep it exclusive for a year and a half, whatever. Maybe to drive console sales or what have you. But maybe like Indiana Jones, after a certain amount of time, it's like, well, we're not really selling any more Xbox Series consoles, so I don't know. That's the thing about all this. It's just like whatever data they want to look at for these tests, these 4 games, whatever it wants to tell them, maybe it tells them, hey, do more because it doesn't have any impact. And it's like, all right, well, there was no impact, so let's just keep on bringing more. I don't know. Well, it's, because there was a lot of things that happened. Tom Warren on the Xbox Era podcast said he thinks Elder Scrolls 6 will not be exclusive, right? And people were like, what the hell? And obviously it's his personal opinion, but it's like, Elder Scrolls 6 is what, Hargeet, 4 or 5 years away at this point. I mean,
I don't think so.
Maybe.
He said,
it could be.
He said it's going to be
be
sooner. Todd said they were co-developing that game and the technology for it at the same time as they were doing Starfield. So it's not as far away as people think, is what he said in that interview with that guy.
Launch,
but even still, even if
think
as far away as Blade, I mean, that's still so far away at that point. You're just like, well.
So yeah, 2027, 2026, 2027, maybe something in that range.
I still don't think that would change it, because you go back to Phil. I mean, he made those statements in 2021, right? We're only 3 years away from 2027 when he said that, those games are going to be exclusive to Game Pass and all this other stuff, right? So now 3 years later, they bought ABK, and that created a big shift, right? And I get that. So, sure, everything up to that point, you can't hold 100% going forward because new situation, demands a new response, right? But he did give us that response. He told us what was what after this. So the only way I can see any of that going down, because he said there's no difference in our fundamental exclusive strategy. Like, he said there's no change. Like, that's all the same. The only thing they're doing is with these 4. And again, I have no problem in a world where based off of what he said, if we get these live service games that eventually go elsewhere, or even, if they're not tied to a main brand like a Halo or something crazy like that, that go elsewhere, right? That's fine. And then these smaller games that wouldn't get made otherwise, right? Which is basically what he's alluding to by saying we want to know how Hi-Fi Rush is going to do out there, because not that many people bought it here. So is Chai a character worth investing more in to do? Because he specifically said do sequels and other games like them, right? So sequels, nobody's looking for a Pentiment 2, right? So he had to be talking about Hi-Fi Rush, right? So it's like, do we invest more in Hi-Fi Rush, or are the same 4 million people who played it are going to be the only ones who play it, right? So that's what I think with that. And then the smaller games like Pentiment, when you have a Josh Sawyer come to you like, listen, I have this passion project, I want to make this Pentiment thing. And it's like, okay, well, that didn't sell anything, right? How do you get more money for that game while also being able to say, okay, you could work on another thing, right? Like, that makes sense to me. Give us time exclusives, and that equals the smaller games and the live service games. That's cool. And he made it clear. He didn't say anything about the big ones. He shot down Starfield and Indiana Jones. And then I know Tom Warren, got him in that interview and, really put the gun to his head. Like they try to do like PlayStation tried to do to him during the trial, right? To make him say that 100% for certain nothing would ever happen. We can't do that. They can't do that. Obviously, if something the size of ABK or some other big major transformation takes place, of course, at that point in time, new ideas or new situations will result in new ideas and new plans moving forward, right? Just like ABK did. But until that moment, I don't think we should just sit here and assume that these other games are coming when he told us that it's just these 4. And again, he gave us the reasons why, and it makes sense to me, and the criteria that was set before it. I don't see the big ones going, because in front of all of it, he put down like the golden rule, right? If we dissect what he said, his golden rule that took place before any other thing can happen is that it can't damage the brand. And as soon as you take your big titles, any one big title will damage the brand, because it would open the floodgates to every single big title coming out on the other platforms. You can't let one through, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Again, if something major changes, that's different. But
yeah, and Tom Warren, by the way, needs to cool off. Like, Bud, I don't want to hear rumors from Tom Warren for a while.
Yeah.
That might be
Even him,
unfair.
right?
I don't know.
He knows for sure that there's one, even after the fact, right? Knows for sure that there's one big game coming. And it's like, dude, Phil just told you that there's 4 games coming. That's it. He literally looked at them and said, ponies, stop. You're not getting any more. Like, he literally took a moment to let everybody know, like, if you are from those other platforms, back the fuck up. You're getting these 4. Okay. That's it.
And I think we're beginning to see his strategy.
It's a test, though, right?
Well,
but again, I don't see. When I see the test, I don't see it as a test to put elsewhere, like other games elsewhere. I see it as a test internally to see what they're going to invest in further, right? Like, that's what he laid out in front of us. He made it clear that these devs wanted to invest, that they wanted to keep working on these games, right? For him to invest in the live service games further, there needed to be more growth, right? In order to do that, that's why they're moving it elsewhere. Same thing with the smaller ones. Again, how popular will this Hi-Fi Rush be for us to make a sequel, right? How popular are these smaller games elsewhere for us to allow these smaller games to be made, right? Because they're making so many big games that these small games now are just kind of like throwing money to the wind at this point. If they're not selling, why take money away from all the big games that you're making to make these
smaller games?
Yeah, and I think,
and that's why you end up in a PlayStation situation, right? Where PlayStation had to get rid of all their smaller games, because why? PlayStation people weren't buying them, right? So had PlayStation, instead of shutting down every studio they had that made a smaller type game, if they had thought maybe instead of shutting them down, they put the game elsewhere to see if it helps, right? Maybe that would have saved some of these studios. But this is where we are, where they're constantly now. This is what, the 4th studio in 4 years that they shut down.
Yeah, and I think we're beginning to see his strategy form up, and I hope that Phil does not change this strategy, but it's AAA, these big budget AAA games stay exclusive. Live service games that are going to have legs, that are going to make money for us in the future, those can go to other platforms.
Yep.
Indie games, small games potentially can go to other platforms. But this new Xbox, we have not seen them. They have not sent a big budget AAA game to PlayStation yet. So I hope that I hope that Phil Spencer holds to that.
And I think second party also might be part of it. Well, Sea of Thieves is still a live service, right? So live service supersedes it, right? So
yeah, but I mean, Halo's live service.
Say it again.
Forza Horizon.
Halo is live service, he said.
Forza Horizon.
I would say those are pillars, right? And those would be damaging brands to put elsewhere.
This is the thing you have to figure out, right?
But like, Sea of Thieves isn't like a $70 AAA experience. Like, it never has been that. It's a live service game.
So, okay. Do you think that basically Call of Duty coming into Game Pass is what's driving this?
Yeah. I think that they're going to take a bath on a lot of sales, and they don't know how many of those people are going to turn to Game Pass. So that's the unknown that you can't kind of account for. So you're going to have a bunch of people who are going to stop buying the game because it's going into Game Pass. And then, you got to recoup elsewhere. And again, you got these small titles where they're like, okay, they didn't do much and they want us to spend more money on it. We need to get something back from this. It makes sense to me. Second party.
It does make sense. But remember, they also can't come out here and say, we know PlayStation is going to be putting games on other platforms, so we kind of have to do the same thing. Like, and we already have these games that, like they had they had them for PlayStation, right? We know that Hi-Fi Rush, they were working on a PlayStation version.
Yeah, these games already had
They already had
PlayStation
existing. Yeah, so it's not
versions of
costing
them.
them anything to
We'll
go
see
ahead
if these
and
didn't,
play
but-
nice.
That was the only one, yeah.
And I don't know if the other ones had ones. Like Hi-Fi probably did. It was ready to go. But I guess so. That's why they have to make this shift, because otherwise Game Pass should have been covering the cost, right? That would have been the point. That's what Game Pass was doing for them, right? So I guess this is the shift that's happened, is that Call of Duty is going to cost them so much. Should they just change the Call of Duty model, make it free to play, and it's basically
it already is free to
microtransactions and
play,
battle
though.
passes?
Yeah,
Well, the Warzone part is.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're asking them to give up what, a yearly Call of Duty that makes
No.
how
Keep
much
the
money
campaign.
every-
Keep the campaign, and then the rest of it is battle passes.
Yeah, but I think people buy Call of Duty for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
They don't buy it for the campaign.
Exactly.
I buy it for the campaign because I'm weird like that,
So do
right?
I.
But I think everybody
Yeah,
else who literally loves Call of Duty loves it for the multiplayer.
See, they already
Yeah.
have the free way in to Call of Duty, right? So to make the the thing about it is that you get the taste of Call of Duty in the Battle Royale mode that they have. That's free, right? You get the taste on mobile, right? There you got it free. But then for console, it's like they know that people buy for the multiplayer, and that's the only way you can have like that, team on team combat. And I think that just works. I don't think going free to play will do it, because I don't know how many people actually do the battle pass versus how many people buy the game. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, but you would have to do it if you wanted to get the content. So you'd have to get a battle pass. Right? You just change the model.
What if changing the model was we're not doing Call of Duty campaigns anymore?
That'd be whack.
I'm good with that. I'm actually good with that, because then
That'd
they
be
could go
whack.
make other types of campaigns.
But I mean, who's to say they would go make other types of campaigns? Because any other game from any of those studios is not going to do as well as Call of Duty is, right? So,
Facts.
I mean, like you see the EA just shut down that studio that was literally built to build a Battlefield campaign, and EA is like,
Yeah, 'cause
well, does Battlefield need a
gonna play it?
campaign? Maybe
Right,
not.
yeah.
So,
And that's because they know nobody's gonna buy that just for it, right? If you take out the multiplayer from Battlefield and you separate it, you make multiplayer free, it's a whole different ballgame. It's not like
Yeah.
Halo, right?
Is
Where
less
people
work while
love the Halo
still
campaign.
less work, still charging you full price.
Yeah.
Facts. But
Interesting
listen,
changes, right?
yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see, what's going
can I ask you
to-
guys a question? You mentioned
Yeah,
like
Absolutely.
you mentioned games games that would hurt the brand if they went elsewhere. I would like to know what you guys thinks are those games that would hurt the brand if they went elsewhere.
Yeah. Halo, Gears, Forza,
Halo, Gears,
Starfield, I
and
think is
Forza?
a new. Yep, and it's a new. I think Starfield's a new pillar.
Starfield, it is. Yeah.
Yep.
You think Starfield
And
would,
then-
I
would
think
hurt the brand? if
Blade,
they went-
honestly, as well. I will throw that in
I
there
think
too.
Starfield.
Hellblade, I don't think should go there either.
Hellblade. I basically, I mean, honestly, I just think it's their first, like their AAA first party. I think that's really where you're gonna see people lose their shit, and people obviously, and I'm not talking about like the real Xbox people, right? Like that's the thing. You gotta understand, on both sides of the fence, the Xbox people and the PlayStation people are tiny. Okay, that's this both consoles are made up of the casuals that buy consoles to buy a console. That's why they only buy Call of Duty, or they only buy NBA 2K or Madden and FIFA, all this shit, right? This is on both sides of the fence, right? So it's just that PlayStation has way more casuals than Xbox does, but they're still mostly casuals, right? You're not seeing it, right? So like for them to go ahead and lose. I have water. I know I'm all fucked up. I don't think, yeah. Sorry, I'm I'm still sick, so trying to not cough every 5 seconds. But for them to go ahead and take the games that I would say that Xbox fans have been waiting for, right? Which is what they've been doing, right? Since 2018, they bought all these studios. It's 6 years before we're getting one of these games to come out. Once those games start rolling out, they can't go anywhere else, man. Like those were the games that, Xbox fans kind of went through all the hard shit for, right?
Yeah, stuck through it. And so
I just feel like that would
to
damage
take
the
any of
brand.
those
I
games
think that
and
would
go
damage
ahead
the
and
brand.
put it anywhere else, it's like slap to the face.
Oh, and for sure, Fable. For sure, Fable.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Like,
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
It's hard to tell though, right?
You know how long we've been waiting for Fable?
So long.
Yeah.
Long. There was rumors
So
back.
We're
like
really
you say,
speculating though. We don't know. They're a $1 trillion company. We don't know what the heck they're gonna do. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
Mhm.
it won't make us, like that's where it's like even like a game going over a year after, it's like, well, didn't you say you don't like timed exclusivity? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, so now we're at the point where I'm like,
Yep.
I want the pillars of the ecosystem, my controller, Game Pass, to be there, and you need to figure out how to market. And I think once you do that, your fruits of the labor without having to put everything over there is going to help. But until they do that last part, especially, there's going to be a problem, and we're going to be sitting here speculating, and they're a $1 trillion company and they can do whatever the heck they want. And they ain't going to, they'll only listen to us so much, you know what I'm saying? And then you got to put deaf ears. Cause like some people lost their minds this past month. So like, like at the end of the day, like I look at Xbox as my place to play. I play with people on PC. I'm used to that now. Like, remember all the hate when Gears 5 went PC? Did you all realize that Gears 1 was on PC? That's what I used to say to people. Do you all realize they started off that, it was epic. Oh, but what's the difference now? All of a sudden it's different now? Like, just make sure they don't go get the sniper, you dummies. They can't wall bounce like you. I'm telling you, I've played PC players that cannot even wall bounce close to what I can. And I don't even wall bounce that good. So that's where, like, people got so mad that we're putting games on PC. Now we're in the latter. Now they're putting some games on PlayStation. Okay, like it sucks that, we don't see anything from them, but we kind of starting to. I mean, MLB The Show still keeps showing up in Game Pass. Oh, that's MLB. Well, Sony could just stop making it, and then you don't have it there if they were that petty. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like they could put it in their own service too. They don't do that. So isn't that interesting? But I feel like we're in like this weird influx of like things that are happening that we speculate on. And then some people act like they're fact. And it's like, dude, like I got to a point where I'm like, I feel like people are just throwing stuff out there this month. And then all of a sudden everybody's super quiet and super depressed that you have more people that are like, absolutely like devastated seeing all these devs that you hire, you buy companies, you do all these things. The acquisition is really for the talent and the IP, and you're just bang, talent gone after you just bought them. And that goes for all these companies right now. Or you make a new studio and then you exit after a couple of years. I mean, we're at the end of it being a fiscal year that has clearly not been good for any of the gaming in general. Except Nintendo. Nintendo just sits there laughing at everybody at this point. I'm sorry, they do. They really do. And I give them credit for it because we thought Nintendo was almost done after the Wii U. We really did. And they came back hard. And now they're just sitting there like, we're going to do our own thing and let everybody, oh, you want to bring games over here? Actually, yeah, we're cool with you buying ABK. We got no problem with that. You know what I mean? Like, they are quietly playing kumbaya, but saying, oh, you don't get nothing from us. Oh, now we're going to sue an emulator after it's been out forever. Like, they just do things when they want. And they're kind of nonchalantly walking around like, oh, yeah, hey, what's up? Oh, yeah, screw you. And that's where I just look at it and I'm like, right now, we're seeing two companies in Xbox Microsoft's in a good place, but they laid off a lot of people. PlayStation laid off a lot of people now. And they're not really in a good place. And as soon as I saw that 10 billion loss, I mean, if you're into any type, like I dabble into stocks, that is not good right at the end of the fiscal year. I knew something was coming. Okay. And anybody that could see through the tea leaves knew something was coming. But all these people are like, oh, no big deal. We have all the console sales. Consoles are not the profit margins anymore. I don't think they ever have been. They've always been sold at a loss. They're actually making money now. So does that tell you something? Because they keep the price at the same price point now. They used to drop it. That would be less now. And it's not. PS5 is still $500, right? They do a little quick sale, try to get some people to get the hands in there, try to get the Spider-Mans out there. We're meeting our quota with Marvel. I mean, we're looking at all of these things and we're saying, dude, everybody relax. Like, realize that things are changing. I was here when Blockbuster died. That was a big change for some of us gamers. Okay. I couldn't go walk down the street and buy a game because I lived right up the street from one. So really, we have to just stop, take a breath, and say, what do you really care about? If Game Pass is the thing, then I will be like, no, you do not do day and date. You do not destroy something that is so special right now. It's like my digital Blockbuster. Keep it there, ride the line. You got games coming out. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Thank you, Reverend Crispy. That was phenomenal.
Agree.
The Church of Latter-day Bombs right there. He dropping them right now. I loved it.
So Ren, what do you
loved it, brother? Thank you so much. Because straight up, like Xbox, in my opinion, like we're talking about all these. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What I want from Xbox that I haven't had from Xbox in a long fucking time is just consistency. That's all I want from them. I don't want them to keep throwing the cards all over the floor and then being like, shit, I gotta pick them all up all over again, and we're gonna try a different way of holding them this time. No, it's just like just put them on the damn table, dish them out, and just let it be. Just let the cards lay.
You want them to come out here and say, I said what I said. Done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Goddamn
be
foot
consistent.
down. You know what I'm saying? Like there comes a time where, you know, Pops just got to come out and say, you know what? We done bullshit. We are sticking to the fucking script.
Yep.
No more deviating. And that's why I love exactly what Crispy just got done saying, because it's just been deviation after deviation after deviation after restart, deviate again. It's just like, dude, how many different ways are we going to try to make a railroad? Let's just fucking travel.
Yeah.
Let's
go. I feel like now we have everything in place where there's no need to go crazy anymore. We have the games coming out. We have the studios making the games. Thankfully, after all of our years of kind of rocking. Oh wait, hold on. Did I not wait? Oh shit!
Hey yo,
Ray
in the house.
Ray has entered.
Welcome.
You came at the perfect time, brother.
On camera and everything.
Let's go.
Of course, he put mustard behind him.
Absolutely, because why not?
Okay, Ray. That's why I put you at the bottom of the screen, because I wanted you to be close to the floor. You know what I'm saying? I wanted you to be able to touch the bottom. All right, you're good.
I got a whole glizzy right here with nothing but mustard on it. Also, relish and mustard. Relish and mustard.
I'm gonna need a Baby Soros background just for Ray.
All right.
Man, no, man, thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate you, homie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Awesome, man. But yeah, I do feel like we are in I feel like we're in a good place, man. And that's why it's so weird for me, like, to hear all these people still going with it. Like, why? Like, again, I know we're talking about it because it's the month in review, right? So we brought it back up just to kind of get everybody's temperature on where they were, right? I do want to.
Any feelings have changed as well.
Yeah, I do want to shift into what's happening in the Shipstorm PlayStation, but as far as like again, so we're doing that just to kind of recap. But like outside of this, like we need to have moved on from this, because the words were already said. Phil said what he said. That's it. I don't care about all the people who are saying, well, it's not going to be the only ones. I was like, until Phil fucking says something different, then that's what it's going to be, right? Because he said 4, and that's all I'm going based off of. Anything else is just speculation, right? And that's cool. We speculate on things, but in this particular way, no, I'm not going to doom and gloom Xbox anymore. It's done.
A lot of trouble and a lot of nonsense out there, and so that's why it kind of needs to settle for quite a bit, and just like, okay, maybe rumors to take a back seat for now.
Like we do have.
Let's reverse the question. let's reverse the question and say, what should PlayStation or Nintendo put on other consoles?
There we go.
Yep.
Let's focus on that for now. Yes.
That's where the question should be. Well, not so much Nintendo. Nintendo is, they can, but I don't think that they would ever put the only thing you would want from Nintendo, all they have are sacred cows. You know what I'm saying? Like all they have are Mario and Zelda, the shit that you can't imagine going anywhere else.
Well, no, they have smaller games that we
F-Zero.
generally don't. Yeah, exactly. I could see that coming over. Like they could do a good F-Zero game and put it everywhere.
Take an F-Zero.
Animal Crossing.
100-player F-Zero game would be lit.
I just feel like Nintendo's the only people right now that the sum of all of their exclusives is what makes their
Nintendo,
which is what makes Nintendo, right? Like they literally, even from the
like
smallest
sacred.
IP they have to the biggest, they're all old ass IPs. You know what I'm saying? They're all 30 years old or whatever. So
there
it's
are
like
things that the other companies can't necessarily compete with, and that's why it's so necessary for them to kind of like not
Except
give up.
Power World showing up
things
here
that
and eating Pokemon's lunch a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay, so like take a game like Xenoblade Chronicles. Do you think that did well? It probably didn't sell that well, and it's exclusive. Does it need to stay on Nintendo? Would that be better served being on
But
PlayStation
they don't
and
make
Xbox?
games at a loss. Like
Not an Xbox because nobody buying
Bayonetta.
Or
Bring back
geeks.
Bayonetta.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like Nintendo just does shit different. Like they move different, right? So like they don't spend all the money that PlayStation does to make an exclusive, or that Xbox does to make an exclusive, right? Like their margins are just different, and they've been functioning like that forever. You know what I'm saying? What is the Switch 2 generation going to bring? With that, we don't know, right? Is that going to
But I
balloon
still
some
see
budgets for them?
games that they could do that are not doing well on their platform that they could just bring over to other platforms. I still see some games that do that. It's up to. I mean, obviously, right? They're not going to bring Zelda over. That's not going to happen. You're not going to get the mainline Mario's or anything. But Mario Strikers, that didn't do that well. So, would that be something they could just bring over? Like, does it matter? Mario Party?
What about
I
Smash
mean,
Brothers?
I don't really keep up with Nintendo numbers like that. So do they actually put out numbers for Nintendo? Or
Yeah, they do.
Yes,
and they're astronomical.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Mario
like
their
smaller
games,
games.
it's ridiculous.
That's for the
Mario
smaller
Kart
games.
has sold more than like every exclusive game for PlayStation and Xbox like combined and shit.
Well,
Like,
outside
it's
of like
50
Minecraft and yeah.
Well, yeah. But I
Right.
mean, like it's like some absent like 50 something million copies of that game or so.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about for like the
It's
games like
crazy.
Kirby and with all the little
Exactly, those games they
Wii.
sell okay, right? But you could bring some of those over. Like some of these games only sell a couple of million, and it's like, well, okay, well, would it hurt to bring it over to other platforms, right?
Yeah.
It's always a possibility, right? So we just discount that Nintendo would never do anything. It's like, well, they're also going to look at the same thing and say, well, why not? Like, where is the line, right? There's going to be a line for them too at some point. But okay, let's focus on PlayStation.
Yeah. I think
PlayStation?
Nintendo probably doesn't want that conversation, right? We're like, oh, well, one game went over there. Well, what's the next game going to come over here? And then that can damage them because their whole model is getting you to buy the box and being in their ecosystem.
Xbox has been very buddy and nice, and they put their games on Switch. Time for some reciprocity, I would think.
I mean, theoretically, it would be nice, but I don't know. Cord Wayner says Mario Rabbids as a test case. I don't know. I think if you fire up any game and see Mario there, I don't.
Yeah, I think that would be good. That's the thing. I thought of Mario Party, and I was like, yeah, that might be a good game to bring to Xbox and put into Game Pass. But anything with Mario in it, it represents Nintendo. I just think because Nintendo is kind of left out of the conversation, what they have that is so special that makes Nintendo, especially with the idea that Xbox will buy Sega someday, and like, or they may be thinking of doing this sooner rather than later, and having Sonic there, it's kind of like that is not the way to go for Nintendo, and I think they are very well aware of it.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I think PlayStation is out of necessity that they're going to have to go ahead and do this. But
well,
I like what Spartan 661 just said. How you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Where?
But anyways, he said Smash Brothers with Xbox characters,
right
and
here,
I was just thinking like a Smash Brothers
I don't think
would be pretty dope.
It would be, but I don't think they'd do it.
No. I'm not thinking that they'd do it, but I'm just thinking like, yo, that would be pretty hot. Even if they, I don't know, Man, no, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah,
there.
we don't have enough
real deep, but nah.
Yeah, we don't have enough characters. It would be like PlayStation All Stars, and it would suck.
Yeah.
I think there's
they're not there yet, and Phil is aware of that. He's said it.
It's
He's
just
like,
what Doodle was saying. Like, they don't
learned
need
that yet.
they won't do it.
Yeah.
What
All right, let me
happened?
get some of these homies that have been waiting for a long time, man. Appreciate you, man. Jonas the
Thank
dad,
you.
brother. Thank
Jonas
you for
the
being here.
dad, what is
Thank you for that
up?
$2 super chat. Says
Let's
Randall
go.
Mayo, C Mustard, the OnPoint condiment corner. Jesus Christ.
Let's go.
Oh my God. Oh man. Look at Mash, bro. Back
Mash,
with another
thank you
one, man.
so
Appreciate you,
much.
man. Thank you for gifting 5 members.
Let's go.
Memberships
Thank
to the channel, man.
you.
Appreciate you so much. Y'all know what to do.
Thank you, Mash.
Put the motherfucking welcome to the family
Let's
emoji in the
go.
chat. Welcome our newest members, man. We appreciate each and every one of you. And Mash, thank you, brother. That was very, very cool of you. Thank you, homie. Yes. Oh shit. He dropped
Everything
instantly.
got.
Hey, I'm at the top, son.
Oh my God. How am I gonna move it?
Everything got moved around, man.
Yeah, because Johnny dropped and he could have waited a second, so I could have got him out. He said he had to go. God damn it, Andy. Now all the names are fucked up. You guys are screwed. You guys are gonna be everybody's gonna be confused.
I'm him solo.
Oh, holy hell. That's all right. I could do musical chairs real quick. It'd be real
Musical
fast.
chairs.
Bam.
Is he
Watch.
just
I'll make
he
dreams
dropped
come
and
true.
is he coming back or what's going on?
No. He had to go, but it happened so fast that I couldn't.
CMoney's reflex are a little off right now. He's not feeling well.
Salute.
Man, I didn't know Rand was such a handsome dude.
That brother got a tan, man. He looking good.
Oh, we finally get him on
Exclusive.
camera.
Rand is on cam.
Finally, after all these years.
Looking
Oh my
astute.
God. All right. Right. I think I did it. And voila.
Let's go. Yes.
Oh wow, that's
See that? I make dreams come true. This is how we roll.
It was nice,
but
being
yes.
crispy.
You know, Hargeet, you mentioned earlier in the show, why aren't there any articles written about like opinion? Why aren't PlayStation? Why should PlayStation put their games on Xbox, or PlayStation should put their games on Xbox or whatever?
You find any?
Well, no, I'm saying I think the reason there isn't is because they still have the frontier of day one PC to hit before then that you would then consider the other platforms, right? Because they're not at day one PC for everything at this point, right? And I think
Xbox
like
is.
Yeah, so like Xbox is like we're everywhere. We're on PC. We're everywhere, and it's like the next frontier would have been PlayStation and Switch, right? Because that's the only places left. With PlayStation, it's still like, okay, we still need to go day one on PC on everything before then somebody would be like, all right, well, let me write an article about why then you should go to Xbox and Switch.
Or
like,
Switch, yeah.
There isn't, but then again, to your point, there isn't really have been articles about how PlayStation should be on day one on PC yet. Like, I haven't really even seen any articles about that, and they really should. Especially with them pushing back on their games as a service strategy that Jim Ryan initiated and is now leaving before it ever comes to fruition, right?
Yep.
I think they, there's something wrong in the industry. Well, we know what the issue is. It's all about margins, right? When Insomniac is literally carrying PlayStation on its back the entire generation, right? Miles Morales, Spider-Man Remastered, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man 2. You got an upcoming like Venom game supposedly and all the other stuff. And even they get like people laid off at their own studio.
Yeah.
Like and Spider-Man sold 10 million copies in 5 months, whatever it was.
Which may not make it profitable.
Well, maybe, yeah, but it's like if that's not good enough, then what is good enough? If you can't, because most games don't ever reach that high, right? Most games
because the
would
budget
love
it's
to
crazy.
sell 10 million copies, period. And it's like, oh, Naughty Dog layoffs, Guerrilla layoffs, shutting down studios. Sony, they made what? Their most revenue ever, right? This past quarter.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like
But
10. Was it like something like 10 billion?
Yeah.
Highest revenue ever. but their
not
margins are so tiny that their profits are like one of their lowest. I'm not exactly sure where you would rank them. And it's like, what's going on? Like, you're making all this money, but you're not able to keep all that money because you're going out because all your expenses have gone up. And
that's the problem.
Yeah, and it's like it seems like that's what's going on for everybody because everybody's laying people off. And I think Sony's next. I mean, we can all joke around about like, you know, what did the COO said and other platforms and all that stuff, but I think Sony explores day one on PC for everything before they would consider. All right, well, yeah, we're going to put stuff
given
on
at this point, right, Rand? I mean,
it should be, but Sony, but their fan base also hates the fact that they're even considering.
I don't think Hiroki Totoki gives two damns.
I know he doesn't, and like the people at Xbox is like, we're going to do what's best for our business, but you know, there are people that are very vocal that are like, you better not put Wolverine day one on PC.
It's already on PC.
Oh, it's already on, bro.
Well, they're already on PC, but I'm just saying, but
right?
You know what I mean? Like, there's that group that are like very.
But Rand, here's the fun part, right?
Yeah,
they have like we've had inflection points on Xbox where we did those kind of things, like put games on PC, and it caused an uproar. But eventually, with like, whatever, right? But for PlayStation, especially at the end of the last gen and going into this gen, every one of their narratives has been destroyed by PlayStation themselves. And they have done it over and over again to destroy everything that they think is part of what their ecosystem is, right? What has happened? Has their sales gone down for PlayStation consoles? Maybe slightly, but it's still soaring high. It is, right? Like, what, 55 million consoles in a few years? That's pretty good, right? And so if you look at that and say, well, is this really going to cause disruption? Is it really going to kill the business if I decide, the hell with it, we're doing PC day and date? What's it going to do? A couple of people in podcasts are going to say,
yeah. Most
and then maybe somebody will sit there and chainsaw their
most casuals are going to have no idea.
The Twitter spaces will be on fire.
Yes, for like a week, and then it'll be like, whatever, next, right? Because that's what's going to happen, and it'll end up being, what's the bad Xbox news? Where's the bad Xbox news? Because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, right?
Dude,
it never matters,
especially with the way that they self-soothe so quickly, you know, like they just move on immediately.
They just look for that next bad Xbox news,
and then they just say, you know what, it makes sense that PlayStation is doing this now. Now, the one thing I will push back
what'll happen a week later.
Listen, the thing I will push back on is the idea that Xbox and Switch are not going to be on the table sooner rather than later. I think if you, again, the same way they'll sit there and pick apart every word that Phil Spencer says and try to create their circles. Let's put it this way. If any of you believe that there's a chance that more than 4 games are going elsewhere, okay, then your narrative needs to stop thinking that PlayStation games won't come to Xbox, because all of them from now, it was Hiroki. First, it was the Sony CEO, right? And then Hiroki Totoki, who became the PlayStation CEO, said it. And now even Herman Hulst, okay? They have all talked about things that are outside of PC and mobile. All of them have said this at this point. They have, even in his little letter, Herman Hulst yesterday, he put out the letter before he posted his beach pictures. That's how much shit he gave about what was going on, right? But he put in there
Colabunga
additional devices, and then such as, right, which are examples of additional devices, such as PC and mobile. But understand, if he meant that it was only going to PC and mobile, he would not have written additional devices. He would have said, and also coming to PC and mobile. Right? But he put that there for a reason. Remember, these are vetted. These things are put in there so that they can say that we never said it wasn't coming to Xbox when they do announce it. But right now, they don't even have a game coming out. So why would they market that? Right? PC and mobile, that's harmless for them, right? In their minds, they don't have to mention that. But until they have games that are going to be going anywhere, that's the only time you need to talk about it. They have a year and a half before they got to worry about a game that they're releasing coming elsewhere, right? I mean, chances are, and this is the funny part, chances are one of the first games they release after the April time slot is Marathon.
Yeah, it will be.
Marathon will go right into Xbox day and date.
And PC day and date. And the other game that they supposedly might come out this year is Concord, which is also going to be PC day and date, right? That is also a live game. It's going to be PC day and date. So the next game that you could potentially think about coming out is Venom, right? That's probably it. Insomniac's Venom. I'm guessing that will be the next game. And that game is a question mark. Is it going to be PC and day and date? And there wouldn't be any reason not to, because they would have Spider-Man ready by then, right? Spider-Man 2 should be coming out in 2025. Right? I think that's what they said, right? Early 2025, they're planning to put that out. So if that's the case, then they should have very little difficulty porting that one over as well, right? Because that'd probably be a holiday 2025 game, right? I don't know. I it's very likely that narrative is going to shatter. By the way, now I'm hearing this from the PlayStation folks, that PC day and date is something they should just do. Right?
Yeah,
that is something they're starting to align with.
I always thought it should go. I don't know why they haven't done it in the
This
beginning.
is a great idea. They should absolutely.
It's a brilliant idea.
I wonder where this came from.
No, so let me ask you guys this, right? How long do you think it takes PlayStation to look at, right, Marathon, and the fact that, you know, their San Diego studios isn't being affected by these layoffs? And it could be because their game is everywhere, right? MLB The Show. And say, well, that's interesting.
Doesn't MLB The Show have like 6 times the players on Xbox?
On Xbox.
It does.
It does. Sony loves Xbox. Sony loves.
Before they start rubbing their chin and start saying, Marathon is doing good. MLB The Show, their studio, we're not touching.
I'm telling you guys. Telling you.
Maybe we should do this with all our studios.
It's gonna happen.
The funny thing is they've have games that are like underperforming, like, you know, what was it? Returnal's one that underperformed. Days Gone underperformed. There's
Ratchet and Clank underperformed.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank. It's like it would make sense for those to be like, if they want to test ones on Xbox, those would probably be the easiest test case ones, because they're probably going to double their sales at that point. But the whole thing with day and date on PC, I don't know why it's been such a big deal. Like, even when Xbox first announced it, I was all for it, for the fact that you get dual entitlement. Now, we all know PlayStation's greedy, so they're not going to do that dual entitlement. You buy it on console, and you're going to have to buy a separate copy on PC. But in any event, having it where you at least offer it to people that, like most PC guys, if they don't already have a console, don't want to bother with a console. And most console guys, if they don't already have a PC, don't want to bother with a PC. So it's not like you're going to cannibalize, you know, your sales. You might as well just go ahead and release them at the same time, especially something like a licensed IP where you're having to pay Marvel, you know, a certain percentage for your, you know, each individual sale. Plus, if you do like bundles and things like that with the console, they get an even bigger chunk of the pie. So it would just make more sense for them to make their money back faster, instead of waiting 2 to 3 years down the road, where, you know, the PC guy that was looking at playing, you know, Spider-Man 2, you know, when it came out, is now moved on to probably Cyberpunk 2079 or the next Witcher game, or whatever other game is out at that time. It's like the you know, the interest has died off at that point, and they got to capture that as soon as they can, kind of thing.
So what is PlayStation next game? First, before we can start talking about it, what is their next game coming out?
It's probably Venom, or it's probably something from Insomniac, whatever that is.
You're talking about first party? You're talking about first party, right?
Besides MLB. Besides
Concord,
MLB.
supposedly.
Concord supposedly is coming this year. It may be next year.
I thought they said none coming out till April next year.
None of their major
nothing
current big games.
And Concord is a game as a service game. I can see that.
It's a brand new, and I don't know if you call it AAA, AA, whatever, but yeah, it's a new live game that they're putting.
That's the one, but Jay Raymond, right?
Shocked.
No, that's Fair Games.
No, that's
Fair
Games.
Games. Confused the shit out of me. But it's the game.
That one's definitely 2025 or later. That one they have not announced for this year. But Concord, they said was coming this year.
I wouldn't be surprised if Concord comes to Xbox.
I'm surprised Concord's even coming out, because all we saw is a CGI Jiggly Burger.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I don't know if
PlayStation ever released a game without showing gameplay at least once before release.
No,
Not
and we
now.
did. I think I forgot what show it was that we did a couple of days ago, or no, not days ago, maybe last week, where we put up the image of all of their releases and how long they had from announcement to release, and they were all like so far. And like
Years.
Concord
Yeah,
is
years.
like not that far off. Like Concord, we just found out like a year and a half ago or something like that, or a year ago. Well, it was at their last showcase, right? The last showcase they did that had all like those
Baby
games of
steps.
service games all in all of them. And baby steps, yeah, that one.
Can't wait for that to
Yeah,
come
like
out.
Yeah,
there's
it was
still
last
so
year's
much time.
showcase, right? I think it was last year's
Yeah,
showcase.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
I
one
don't
that
know.
we're
It's
like,
not. It's
what
not very
was
likely.
that?
But if it's coming out, I can see it coming. Dude, how can you feel as an entity if you're like, all right, we're gonna have Marathon come everywhere, but these other live service games, we're gonna handicap them and basically force them to fail because we're not putting it everywhere. Because ponies don't buy them. You know what I'm saying? Like ponies don't play these games as much as they like to pretend they do on Twitter, right? The numbers don't lie, bro. They do not sustain this. If it wasn't for PC, Helldivers would have been a fart in the wind, bro. It would have came out and nobody would have been talking about it,
Yeah.
and it would have been just like Foam Stars.
I'm about to say
It's
just like
only
Foam
because
But look,
of PC.
Helldivers 1 was also PC, right? Day and date when it came out way back, right? It was also PC and PS day and date, and it did well there too. So I mean, thankfully they continued that pattern. But look, the bigger question mark, and this is just like from the whole 900 layoff, is do we know that this game is going to continue? Right? They keep cutting down studios.
Who's making that one? Who's making Concord? What studio of theirs is
trying
doing
to
it?
remember.
Is it Fire Sprite or something like that?
It's
Is it
Firewalk,
Sprite?
I
'Cause they
think.
just
Firewalk. Okay.
Firewalk, I think.
they have 2 places that start with fire.
Yeah, Firewalk.
I would fucking shut down the studio just for that. Like, bitch,
Yeah.
change your name. I'm not gonna be having to always say the second part of your name for us to know who you are. I'm gonna start calling you Sprite and Walk. Like that's some dumbass shit. Fucking come out here with
You got dinner for the night.
Look, I
sounds
would
like.
be very concerned about that specific thing. Is we don't know if they won't just look at that one, say, you know, in 3-4 months and say, yeah, this isn't looking good either. We're closing on the studio, and then I don't know where Haven goes either. Fair Games, like that whole shift has been pretty bad for them so far, right?
Dude, they have to be coming out everywhere. They have to. That's the only way PlayStation can justify it, dude, because they're not even. I mean, dude, even Helldivers. Let's be clear, that's not some massive success.
No.
Okay, like it's not Power World, right? Like, understand the scale way different, and they worked on that game for like 6 years. They said so. It's not like it was some insignificant amount.
I wonder
of money
what the budget was for that.
Yeah,
we
I'm
don't know the
sure it
exact
wasn't
sales.
tiny.
We've heard about that 4 million thing. That's a rumor. We've had a substantiation kind of at least 3 million, right? If it's in that 3 to 4 million range, it's like a $20-$30 game, something like that, $30-$40 depending on
It's
console versus
$40,
PC.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So it has to basically
not a lot.
It's not even so at $40, you have to look at that as less, right? So if it's 3 million, that's like a million and a half of a regular game, you know, give or take, right? So it's just not that impressive. You know what I'm saying? It's just really not. I mean, that's just the only way you can look at it. Real quick, let's get the homie Jay Rambert in here, man.
Jay, what's up,
Listen,
baby?
We're normally quick with these, man, but there's, you know, we got a lot of people talking, so it's hard. But Jay Rambert, man, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for
Thank
being
you
here.
so
Thank you for that
much.
$10 super chat. And he says, "See, I understand what you're saying, but my trust in Microsoft has dramatically shifted over this past few months. However, as long as Game Pass still exists and they make hardware, I'm good." This is the thing, Jay. Like, I get that, right? I understand that there's feelings like that. Oh, wait, all right. J Rock gotta go too. All right, I'm gonna get you out, Jay. Let me finish this and I'll get you out. Don't just disappear like Andy did. Fuck up mess up
Your
where
layout.
everybody is.
Yeah.
Oh god. But yeah, so I completely I get the sentiment, right? I understand. But also like realize that a lot of that shit was fueled by outside people, right? Like that wasn't Microsoft who did anything in these last 3 months outside of just what they did just recently at that podcast, right? So I mean, all those rumors, all that shit that's out there, they're just rumors. And even if like this is shit that the people who put out those rumors don't realize, even if all that shit was true, even if they were talking about Halo, Starfield, any of that shit, that never came out of their mouths, right? It was never actually spoken about. So you can't base it off of shit that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? So listen, these small 4 games, again, he has not steered us wrong yet. Right? I mean, let's be clear, man. This guy is literally the dude that took us from on the brink of Xbox disappearing to look. He's trying to. You can't see over, right? You can't see over.
I'm standing up. I'm standing up trying to get over the thing. Somebody said, "Ray, where you at?" So I had to look over.
Oh my god!
He's over here.
Oh
peeping.
my god!
Crazy.
But yeah, but yeah, he's Oh, where am I? Okay, there we go. Wait, shit. All right. So yeah, so it's like Phil has done all this shit for us, right? So I don't see us having to put so much doubt in him. You know what I'm saying? Like he said the words. He didn't change on his words last time. It's only after the ABK deal, which was a big deal for the company that forced these changes. But I mean, now let's take his word, man, what his word is, and we'll see. And we could judge him based off of what happens going forward. But as far as I'm concerned, man, he never did me wrong. Yeah.
I was more shook in 2017.
I feel that. Yeah. I feel that.
I'm not shook right now. They spent way too much money for me to be shook right now.
Yeah, that's the one thing. They're too big to fail now. Like, understand, like Microsoft will never let it happen because they've already seen the potential with it overtaking Windows. This side project that was just this fun little thing, this little way for them to get into the living rooms, right? Now it's bigger than Windows. Yo, man, I mean, this is the facts, right? So that's the thing, right? It's I get the sentiment, but just hold strong, man. Don't let these fear mongers out there and these doom and gloomers fuck with you, man. You got Game Pass, we got hardware coming. Sarah Bond was out there saying it's not only going to be new hardware, but it's going to be the biggest technological leap that they've ever done. I'm fucking pumped, bro. I'm so excited for what the future of gaming is going to look like because I'm a graphics whore. So
yes, you are.
You know, I just want it to be stunning. All right, you got the homie Ray Gamer, man. Thanks again for being here, brother. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Says Ray is late because he had to climb the stairs like Mario.
Hey, you know the funny thing is, the funniest thing it is, I don't in just about every other podcast, I don't even be in the chat or nothing, and I just be having it on my TV. Next thing I know, I see a super chat with my name on it. I'm like, what the hell going on? And it just be lighting me up. I'm like, God damn. It's funny to me though. I think it's hilarious.
Nah,
say my name more.
That's all love, man. That's all love. The homie Adidas 20, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Says, I said, hey yo, Ray. Dirk will never tell you my height. Well, supposedly he's a giant. All right, so just know that. The homie Mash, man. Yo,
thank you so much.
Bro. Appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much, brother. He went ahead and gifted another 5 OnPoint for gamer memberships, man. Thank you so much. Y'all know what to do. Put the motherfucking welcome to the family emojis in the chat.
Let's
welcome our newest members to the family, man. We appreciate each and every one of you. And Mash, thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you so much, Mash.
Thank you, homie.
Thank you.
The homie Raiden Blade sneaking in, man. What's up, bro? Thank you for being here. Thank you for that £5 super chat. It says, just arrived. Guys, I just realized Xbox has released 4 games on PlayStation 5. Xbox has more games this year on PlayStation 5 than SIE themselves. Shame on SIE. What to do? And he also added, thanks again, brother, with a £2, says, it must be embarrassing for ponies. It is.
You would think.
It is. It has to be. Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, let's get into the end game here, right? Of what we've been talking about. And we have Sony basically having all this shit happen. I don't know if you guys
we have to get J-Rock out, no?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. God damn it.
See, he doesn't want to let you go, J-Rock.
I'll never let go, Jay. I'll never let go.
He's having a Titanic moment here. He's like, not my boy, Jay.
Not my boy, Jay.
You're taking me to the end.
Yeah, I know. I've never let go. Nah, Jay, man. Yo, first of all, thank you, brother, for being here.
Absolutely.
You were just here on Saturday, man. That was an awesome show. I
was.
heard him and the guest, man. Thank you for coming back, brother. Hopefully, we can have you again on some of our other shows, man.
Absolutely.
That'd be amazing.
After
But yeah,
dark,
man. Tell everybody,
after dark,
what you got going on, bro.
Not much, man. I'm just chilling, relaxing right now. You know, just working, gaming when I can. I just started what's this Tales of Arise.
Oh, Tales of Arise. How is it? I've been looking at it. I was like,
I just started now. I'm about to hit the first boss, that volcano, whatever. So it's been cool. It's been cool.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so everybody can. I think I have everybody's Twitters in the description, except for Hargeet. He's on Discord. But why don't you tell everybody how to follow you and we can get you on your way, man. Appreciate you,
bro. I'm more than certain that if they're watching the show, they know how to follow. So
man, get up out of here, J Rock. Get up out of here.
Hey, the
they know
best
what they gotta do.
follow.
CMoney. They know what they gotta do. CMoney.
You said all the same amount of words that you could have just been like, yo, follow me on Twitter at JRock.
Listen, guys, if you don't follow J Rock on Twitter, you're missing out. Be a part of the Grambling Nation and join him. He is hilarious. It's the best. So you gotta get in there. And he's always dropping bars when it comes to these ponies and putting them in their place.
I need to go make my dinner right now. So having the chicken nuggets because we can't have no bone in it anymore after the show.
Rules have changed as of Saturday, all right?
You have bones, get it?
Bone and meat.
Yep.
Doodle, that was crazy.
It got a little wild.
It was.
Yeah, that was great.
That's
right.
right.
Yo, guys,
have a good night,
I think that's the first interview that goes a little after dark.
Yeah, that was an after dark interview. It was a Saturday interview. You know, shit gets wild.
Gets wild. That was crazy. But yeah, man, it was a pleasure being here. Shout outs to the panel and shout outs to the chat. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I'm out.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, brother. All right,
Thank
let
you
me see what happens. All right, I'm gonna do my quick reshuffle. It's gonna happen real fast.
I'm Crispy again. Yeah, what's up?
You're
Hardy.
Boom. You're over there.
And Rand's back on camera.
Boom.
Man.
Hargeet.
Debonair Rand.
You. Boom.
Rand chocolate over
you. Oh my god.
Randall Hershey.
Randall Hershey. And Milk Dud. Boom. I don't even see where the hell's where's Ray? Oh, I had you coming. I didn't see you on my screen, yo.
That's it.
He didn't want to look at the mustard.
Hey, by the end of the show, I'm gonna be chugging mustard. By the end of the show, I'm tell you that right now. And it's gonna be forever on your channel that I'm chugging mustard. So you know that right now.
Listen, Hargeet did it last night and the day before. I don't know what's
Oh my gosh, he really did.
All right. So now that we're back, all right. So real quick, I don't know if you guys saw this, but on Twitter, Insomniac Games put up a post. So I'm gonna read it real quick, and that would lead us into everything else we're gonna finish off with. Insomniac Games writes, like several other teams across SIE and PlayStation Studios, Insomniac Games was impacted by yesterday's layoffs. There are no sufficient words to express our feelings about it. This is a solemn and unprecedented moment for our studio. We are focusing our energy on helping everyone affected through this challenging time. For those who are hiring, there are great people seeking new roles who made important contributions to Insomniac's history. We're extremely grateful for them, and they will be missed. Insomniac Games. That was very sad for them. And, unfortunately, I mean, they weren't the only ones hit, right? Like Sony had this layoffs. It was a big deal. And, as much as it sucks, like if who knows what's going to happen over the course of this year and a half when they have no big games to help boost them up, right? Are there going to be more layoffs? And then come next year when they finally start releasing games, how much financial pressure are going to be on each and every game they make? to help get them out the hole. Because understand, like that's the only way it's going to happen. You're not going to get a substantial growth in subscription when you have no games coming out, right? Like console, yeah, it's selling, but I mean, Dottie B said, "CMoney, why you sad?" I mean, I'm not happy that people got fired. I mean, I mean, this is a different thing.
You read that like a
Like this is a
eulogy,
thing.
bro.
You did.
Yeah, I did read it like a eulogy. I was trying to be, respectful. That being said, we take it out of the people who got fired and stuff like that. You know, like we have to understand that this scenario is very different from Xbox scenario, right? Even EA scenario, like EA is in a similar boat as PlayStation, right? Where what they spend and what they make is, limited and they have to look at that stuff. Xbox making cuts the way they did, they had a big merger. They had to get rid of, any redundancies. They looked at games that they did not greenlight that were in production through the purchase and had to decide whether or not they were going to, continue them. That's why they canceled what they canceled and they, moved people over to the games that they were working on, or they, had to let people go. But that's a very different scenario coming from a $3 trillion company, right?
That's a big company.
Because it's not life or death for them. It's just they want to do this, right? The scary part about this for PlayStation dudes that need to come to grips with it is that this is not a want from PlayStation. PlayStation, they say, you know what, we just want to do this to kind of, boost numbers here and there just for us to feel better about it. This is an absolute need. This was out of necessity, out of desperation that they had to fire these people and let them go. This is why you saw Herman Hulse, in his letter say, we love doing those narrative single player, games at the high quality bar that we want, but we have to step back and like take a look at what we're doing and how we're making these games. Like if you are, a PlayStation only fan, I mean, you should be. I would be afraid of what the future is. Like, I'm not afraid on the Xbox side, right? Like putting those 4 games over there, they ain't nothing. I have zero fear. If anything, I have nothing but excitement. But I don't think as a pony dude, you can look at us with the straight face and be like, I'm excited for what's to come. You don't know what's to come. Your roadmap is full of uncertainty, right? So I mean, maybe this is me. Maybe this is how I'm seeing it. I mean, what do you guys think? When you heard what happened and kind of see the fallout and what's going on. Rand, what do you think? We'll start with Rand.
About all the Insomniac layoffs and stuff. I mean,
all the layoffs and the canceling of the games and all this stuff that is going on right now, right? We saw all these games get canceled, people are laid off,
it all comes down to Sony's margins. They're making all this money, but they're not really keeping on to the money. And because the games take so long to make and the games cost so much, something's got to give. It's kind of like Sean Layden was right. You remember when Sean Layden left and Jim Ryan won the tug of war? Sean Layden said before this generation even started that AAA gaming was unsustainable. That the budgets cannot double like they basically doubled from the 360 to the PS4. And that he thought the future was going to be smaller games, smaller, shorter games, essentially. Like that PlayStation couldn't, or anybody really couldn't, spend $300 million on a 20-hour game anymore and expect their profits to keep on going up. And well, he's looking like a profit because that's exactly what happened. Sony didn't do that. All their single player games took longer and longer to make, and because of that, they cost more and more to make. And now, in the previous gens, when you were kind of swimming in cash a little bit, now, even though you're selling more than you ever have, but you're not getting to keep any of that because the games cost so much. And even Sony, I think Sony even mentioned like one of the problems was that they were constantly having to discount the PlayStation 5, and that getting it the reduction in cost wasn't working like it worked in previous generations. So you end up in this scenario where your games cost too much and it impacts your bottom line way too much. And with Jim leaving and the guy taking over was what, their COO essentially, right? He gets in there and he's
COO.
Yeah, the COO. He gets in there and he's looking at the stuff and he's a penny pincher, right? He's like Amy Hood or
Amy Hood.
or
He's
Tim
basically
Stewart.
Amy Hood for Xbox.
And he's like, yo, he even sort of called out their studios. Like there's like the studios don't really know how to run a profitable business or whatever, and things are going to have to change. And what's one of the ways how things change? Well, you lay off people, which then causes game cancellations, right? So you cancel these games, you lay off people, and I don't know. The interesting thing in the Herman Hulst letter was that they said they love making those big immersive single player games, but they have to reevaluate how they do them or how they're made. And I thought to myself, that's interesting. Could you imagine if Phil Spencer said they had to like reevaluate Game Pass and like how Game Pass was funded or whatever? People would have like lost their shit. But Herman Hulst is like, we need to reevaluate our single player games and stuff, which means probably the budgets, the length. Like, okay, instead of it being 30 hours, can we maybe make it 15 and maybe shave off 2 years of development? So we can get this out the door.
Better games if they do that.
Because I think you can still make quality games. You don't like. I like God of War Ragnarok, but that game was so bloated. It didn't need to be the length it needed to be. Like you could easily make games at a shorter timetable and still have them be really well done. And the other issue is it's kind of what Phil mentioned in his podcast. The podcast was like, you either raise the price of things or you find new audiences, right? And this generation, PlayStation raised the price on everything. Cost of their games, the cost of their subscriptions. They raised the price of the console. They've basically done as much as they can to squeeze as much money as they can out of all their consumers. They don't really have any like where to go, anywhere else to go by raising the price. Like, sure, you maybe could raise game prices to $80, but I don't know if you can go any higher than that because I don't think you might get some pushback. So where else are you going to go? You got to find new audiences, and I think PC's their audience. They're going to try to get into next, and who knows elsewhere. People ask me like, "Oh, we were going to see PlayStation games on Xbox," and I think like somebody on the Xbox Era podcast said, no. And I said, never say never. Who knows what the industry looks like in 10 years? Never say never.
I mean, nobody thought Xbox would release a game on PlayStation, right?
Yeah. Never say never anymore. I mean, the industry is different than what it was in 2013, 10 years ago. What is this going to look like in 2034? You know what I mean? With no idea.
Nintendo? Never say never.
Us old.
Oh my God. Yes.
God damn. That's far out, bro.
Games, I mean, the simple answer is games cost too much money. There's too many other choices for consumers for their time and their money, and games already cost a lot. Plus, and I don't think maybe a lot of people talk about this, you know what I also really think is killing a lot of the industry in a way? Free-to-play games and live service. Because why bother spending $70 or $80 on a game when you can literally play Fortnite for free? Right? I think the rise of the live services and the free-to-play games have really impacted people's desire to go spend $80 on something when they don't know if they're going to enjoy it or not. Especially like, it's one thing for Spider-Man 2, right? Spider-Man, everybody loves Spider-Man. It's this big thing. People know they played the first one. They think it's really good. But then like somebody makes Immortals of Avium and it costs $125 million. Nobody bought the game because why would somebody buy that game? Especially for $70. So new IP is impacted because nobody wants to spend the huge prices on it because you can just go play your comfort food for free all day long. And then, oh, you know what? I don't even need to play video games. I can go watch Netflix. I can go read a book. I can watch TV. I can do whatever else on all these things that are asking for my time and attention. I think that's really a problem.
Yeah.
Hey, Ren.
It is.
I might never get to ask you a question again, but Ren,
what's up?
What do you think? Because the people think I'm real toxic. So, Ren, what is making these games cost so much in the first place? Everybody always say the games cost too much to make, but what is the specific reason? Is it because they got to pay so many developers, or what is it that makes these games cost so much?
Yeah, I mean, it's some of it's location. Like a lot of these, like Insomniac's, I think located over in California, where it's really expensive. The cost of living is really high, so you got to pay the people what they're worth, and then a game costs. It's not like a movie where you shoot it for 3 months, and the actors are sort of all done, and then it's kind of post production, and then you release it. The games take 5 years. And so you got to pay these people for 5 years because mostly the costs on the games are all like the workforce. But I don't want to say some of it's our fault, but we do demand games look a certain quality level. We do demand games have certain animation quality, right? We demand our games to look a certain way. And when they don't, people get upset. People like when Hellblade's 2 $50 release, when they announced Hellblade 2 for $50, people's reaction wasn't, "Oh, great, that's a cool deal. It's only 50." People are like, "What's wrong with the game? Why is it only $50?" Right? Because people are used 70, so there's got to be something wrong with it. It's just like cost of living, and you got to pay all these people, and we expect games to look, the best. Like every game's got to constantly outdo the other, and when a game doesn't, or when a game looks bad, you're like, ew, brother, ew, that little gif or whatever, the little thing. That's what it is. And there's Nintendo over there just with how powerful's the Switch, Hargeet? And how powerful's the Switch? It's like a what?
Like a 360, right?
It's like 70% of a 360 of a Xbox One, One. And so,
and the funny thing is, Sony and Microsoft want to be Nintendo so bad with their first party, but they never will because people don't buy PlayStations or Xboxes for the first party games. How much? What Mario Kart 9 or 8 sold 55 million copies. Pokemon, whatever the hell, does 30 million.
30 million.
Smash Bros does 30 million. Nobody does Nintendo. And their games are 360 gen stuff, and people are perfectly happy with it. But if an Xbox game doesn't look good or a PlayStation game doesn't look good, people freak out. I guess that's part of the when you go down that graphical fidelity for so long, and you try to sell a box that eat monsters for breakfast. People expect a certain thing, and if you're not giving them that thing, people are going to get upset. But yeah. It's just also, I think some of the layoffs, CMoney, are also because they overhired during COVID.
Okay. Well, a lot of people say that too, yeah.
They thought the industry would kind of pick up new gamers, and that they would be like, okay, we have a new audience, so everybody's buying in. We need to hire more people so we can push out our products so we can make more money. And now they realize that the boom that happened from the pandemic is never coming back. And in fact, the industry is going to contract again, not grow. Now you're seeing the pullback being like, oh shit, well, we got to lay people off. So even though a lot of these companies are making money hand over fist, like EA made all this money and they're still laying people off, so.
Well, one thing is, maybe AI, just even though people think that's a bad word, maybe AI will help the development speed up a little bit. It'll be more streamlined and everything. And I wasn't here for the EA, fire and laying off all those people and them not doing licensed games no more. EA learned a lesson this last year, which a lot of people don't talk about. FIFA wanted a lot of money to keep
Yes.
that name. EA was like, "Nah, fuck you. We're not doing all that." And they just named the game. I think FC or something. FC
Yeah,
soccer.
it's EA FC or whatever
FC.
football
Yeah,
club.
yeah. So, and they were like, "Oh, we still sold the exact same amount without your name. People really just want the soccer game." So they like, "Oh, why are we doing all the other licensed games like us?" Now, Star Wars, that's one thing. It should sell. I was looking forward to the Mando game, but a lot of the other licensed games, but like when that Madden license comes up, don't be surprised if they don't do the exclusivity anymore. Maybe 2K will get back in that race, but AI might.
I think Madden. I think the equivalent would be them saying we don't need the name Madden anymore.
Yep,
they would still need NFL.
No, they were gonna do NFL,
and they still need the exclusivity. If they lose that exclusivity,
right?
if they lose that exclusivity, they will get that football team back together again over at 2K.
Well,
they will.
They have a
lunch, bro.
They are making a football game. It's just
they
not,
are, but it's just not.
It's not 11 on 11. It's like 7 on 7 or something like that.
Yeah,
it'll be part game.
So see, I gotta jump out in a couple minutes.
Yes,
like a minute
you do.
So.
you do. Hargeet, man, thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you for rocking
appreciate
with
you so
us.
much, man. And
right.
let everybody know that you're on Discord.
Boom's podcast next. H Johnny on Discord and
Xbox.
on
Discord and Xbox.
And I'll be on Boom's podcast in 5 minutes.
We'll be seeing you soon, man. Appreciate you, brother. All right, man.
God
damn, is it gonna mess up all my numbers again? I mean, all my shit. Yes, it is. God damn it.
Chris,
Hargeet again.
I am Ham Solo.
Listen,
that's good.
Fuzzy stood there. Okay, Rand stood there. So it's just Crispy went that way. Okay, I think we're Ham moved a little bit. Okay, yeah.
One thing I wanted to say real quick, as far as like with all these exploded costs and things like that, as far as with gaming, it looks to me like Ninja Theory is probably the best prepared to some extent. They're still kind of a small team or smaller studio than most, and they're doing some of their tech stuff is kind of a little less expensive as far as how they've built it in house, as opposed to either using other facilities and things along those lines. So it looks like Hellblade 2 will be a good barometer of a game that the budget stays within reason. And if the numbers as far as sales or the amount of people, let's say signing up for Game Pass or buying it on PC and whatnot, if it does well and it moves more copies or about the same amount of copies as the first one did, I think that will be a win overall. And hopefully more studios will take notice that you don't have to make 100-hour game all the time where you have a million collectibles and 3 different maps and all these hours to be able to do 100% completion and stuff like that. Have a smaller experience and go from there. And Sony's already kind of done the replayability aspect on some of their games, although they're still making their games somewhat bloated, but the whole roguelite type mechanic might be their best move moving forward. So that way you make a smaller experience game that's, let's say 10 to 12 hours or maybe up to 20 hours. And then the replayability of doing that roguelike will, make it worthwhile for, $60, $70 or something like that for some. But the overall cost, I almost wish to the point where some of these studios were still in favor, although I think Microsoft is still in favor of it, but remote work and stuff like that, because like Rand was saying, if you live in California, the cost of living is ridiculous, but you can always find talented people in other parts of the country where the cost of living is far less. And if you're able to coordinate and have a good workflow, like what a lot of these teams did have during COVID, as far as some of them had things implemented to make it easier for that workflow, I think that might be a better move moving forward. Not to say to move all video game making away from California, but Maryland has Bethesda out there. I think Texas has a few Blizzard studios.
Fuzzy, did you see Jason Schreier tweet today about how Rockstar just put out that all their employees have to come to the office for the next to finish up Grand Theft Auto 6, like in the home stretch, and to cut down on security problems. So like basically everyone has to come back to the office to finish Grand Theft Auto.
I kind of understand it from the security aspect, but they could have prepared that a little bit better. And if the employees weren't performing to task or completing things within a certain amount of time frame, I don't think forcing them to come back to the office is going to make any more of a difference. Like before I retired, my office went, fully remote, and they started doing that, integration where, all right, you come back to the office, once a week or twice a week. And then it was, all right, we need everybody back to the office full time. Productivity in some departments where you don't have to have your manager standing over your shoulder actually went up. It was usually the ones where, like the call center may have been the ones where the productivity went down because they have more free time in between each call, or at least they would take more free time in between each call. But the web team, the catalog team, the engineering team for prototypes and things like that, as far as for automotive stuff, those teams' productivity went down when they went back to the office. So it's like, I guess some of them have to look at like what works best, but like Rockstar, they're in their own league for the most part. But yeah, it kind of sucks that they would have to come back to the office, but that's one of those games they definitely want to have ready for 2025. But I still think doing remote would be able to work if you have the proper monitoring and safeguards and security stuff on the back end as far as the logins and stuff like that. But we'll see.
Oh, I think
you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Or is it like cutting out?
Oh shit! I was muted. My bad.
I thought I lost sound for a second. I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah, I thought
that can't be someone in like Argentina.
Yeah, I said it can't be like somebody like in Argentina. It could be somebody only local, right? Like they can't force people who are way the fuck out there to come into the office, right? So they must have like, if you're local, you have to come in type deal.
It's probably a lot of the people that are attached to whatever office was in their region. So if they're in the UK and they have a UK Rockstar studio, they're probably within driving distance. So everybody else that may have been like further out that they may have hired, or either contract people. Now my cat wants to talk. They're either contract workers or something along those lines, possibly. But that would suck as far as for long distance stuff.
And we've seen Xbox and PlayStation talk about finding the next big game idea from places you wouldn't imagine. So like we know that they're looking to invest in studios in India or Africa because, they're not. One of the reasons is because, obviously new game ideas can come from those places, but also there's not going to cost as much as running a studio in Burbank, California. Right. So you need to kind of go and the cost has got to come down somehow, really. And I don't know. Sure. I like, would you guys be happy if like next generation was, let's imagine a scenario where PlayStation and Microsoft were just like, you know what? Our next systems are just going to be as powerful as the Switch 2. So we can sell the hardware at a profit. And the games are going to be shorter and cheaper. They're not going to look as good because we need to control costs. Would everybody be
shorter?
Okay with
that? Shorter is like at one spot. I don't care about. Right. So shorter, like Hellblade 2. That's the sweet spot for me, man. You release a game that's single player, and I'm talking just for single player stuff. You release a game that's like between 8 and 15 hours. Money for me. I play it, I can move on in my life. That's enough time. But everything else, nah, I need the maximum. I'm still looking for Toy Story 4 level of graphics in a video game. All right.
I want to highlight this comment. Serve says adults wouldn't be happy. I think that, that's such a big deal right now because they're trying to fill in like all the generations, right? And so what we're expecting of them is not the same thing as like the younger generation, like what they're looking for in the like you have to be able to adapt to what they can pay attention to, because something that is as simple as how much can you pay attention, how long can you pay attention for? What are you looking for? Like those little things are just the details that will need to cover every generation. It's kind of like our generation doesn't necessarily matter as much as Rand mentioned before. These free games are going ahead and taking such a big space. And it's like if you get your fix from these games, like why would you spend the money on these, bigger games? Yes, I know like games like Grand Theft Auto are gonna obviously like sell well and stuff like that, but like there's like a variety that's kind of like lost in between, if that makes
No, for
any
sure. Now, you know
sense.
what's the good thing though for me is that Fortnite, which is one of the most popular games that are out there, fucking stunning. You play that shit on your Series X or Series, even on Series S, man. Beautiful looking game. Like they're pushing tech there. So we are, at least I know those kids who play that game are getting used to a certain level of fidelity. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but if you think about it, our generation are the ones that are, I mean, unless like your parents give you the the credit card and it's kind of like buy whatever you want, but like we spend stupid money on Fortnite buying skins and everything else that pops up, and it's like, okay, so we're doing that, but there's a lot of people that just hop on just to play the free game, right? So I feel like we're the ones funding the money that they need, and then that younger generation's here for the fun.
Yeah. Listen, I'm down. Let me get these super chats that have been kind of hanging out here for a while. The homie
Oh,
Spartan 661,
Spartan,
man.
thank you so
Thank you,
much,
brother, for being
baby.
here. And thank you so much for being a member for 2 months, man. Appreciate you. Says SIE are pieces of shit of the year. Pieces of shits of the year for laying anyone off from Insomniac for carrying PlayStation 5 on their back this generation. It is ridiculous for people not to realize Xbox for life. Facts. It is crazy, man. Like that's to show you there's no allegiance. It doesn't matter how good you do if you work for Sony. You're just on the same chalking block as everybody else. Why? Because Sony lives on Brokeback Mountain.
But that's the
And
thing
they
though,
no
like,
way.
they're
They no
cornered
way.
in this situation that they kind of, as sad as these moves are, it's becoming, like, less about Sony being a certain way and more about Sony's survival, right? So we're
Facts.
talking 2 different things, like, at this point, I feel like they're just trying to figure out how to catch their breath and how to move forward, and I think that we're not looking at layoffs for the sake of laying off.
Yeah, I agree. Then you got the homie JD Gamer, man.
D
Thank you,
Gamer, what's
brother, for
up,
being here,
love?
man. We
Thank you
appreciate
for
you. Thank you
rocking
so
with
much
us.
for that $10 super chat. Says Microsoft has correctly predicted most trends in the last 20 years,
Yeah.
but their implementation and execution has been terrible in many cases. I'm betting that Microsoft has AI modeled what the industry will look like. I don't put it past them. And honestly, as much as we're talking about the future and what that's going to look like and how difficult things are going to be, at the same time, AI, I think, is going to play a big role in alleviating a lot of the costs because time frames are going to scope down and you'll be able to make things faster. There's going to be a lot of benefits that come from AI getting involved here. So, I don't know. I think you're right. Microsoft has been ahead of the curve for a long time. They nailed it for my with Xbox One. They were just too early, right? And we say too early, but really it's just the people weren't
The
ready
majority felt like it
and
was
they were
too
giving them
early.
shit. So that's why they did it. But they have been on point. You're right, JD. JD, back to back, man. Thank you, brother, for that
Thank you
$5 super
so
chat. It says,
much.
how much better would Ubisoft games be if they're a third of the size? Like literally break that game up into 3 games or remove about 65% of the fluff. You're not wrong, dude. Like Valhalla, I really enjoy that game. I know that there were some people who didn't, but I really, really enjoy it. I actually really enjoy all of their line of these new games that they did ever since Origins. So I'm definitely a fan, but you're right, man. Like it's a lot of bloat. There's a lot of unnecessary shit that they put in there because they're trying to give you everything and keep you in there. But it's like most people don't. Like you can't coerce me to stay there by giving me more and more shit to do. Um, like I would just leave and not finish your game. Like that's just pretty much where it is. And
especially with the amount of games that are releasing nowadays.
absolutely.
Like this is not the same world we live
Agreed.
in.
And Valhalla, you know, it's a phenomenal game, but like I mean, I still go back to it every once in a while randomly. I'll just put it on and do a mission or two. But you know, it's I don't know, it's not necessary. And then JD Gamer back to back,
Thank you so
man.
much.
Thank you, brother. Again, appreciate you. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Says if GTA 6 gets delayed into 2026, it's gonna be a launch title for the next Xbox. Ooh, and I just bet Microsoft would love that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, dude. If that's when GTA 6 is coming out in 2026 and they could make it a launch title for the next gen system with some type of next gen capability, holy fuck. That would be wild. That would be wild indeed. And then back to back
JD,
again, the
thank
homie
you so
JD Garrett,
much.
man. Thank you, my brother, again for being here. Thank you for that $10 super chat. Says panel. Side note, I haven't heard anyone deal with this topic with this topic. Okay, boom. Fortnite is no longer a game, but a digital platform in all the ways that PS or Xbox are platforms, but need hardware at the moment. You know, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, what you're essentially saying is they've become like a Roblox scenario where now you can go in there and build games. So games live in Fortnite now. And honestly, they're killing it because it's basically, I call it in my mind the grown-up version of Roblox because they have all the same shit you could do in there, but it just looks better, plays better because it's on the Fortnite engine.
Bro, they got a Rocket League game that you can't access on Rocket League.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And it's fucking good.
It is.
It's fun as shit. Like everything that they did, they nailed, right? Battle Royale, love it. Zero build, that's life, right? I mean, that's the game we probably play the most with the kids and shit. Like my daughters, my young kids are getting that shit. My daughter, my youngest, my 4-year-old, she gets on there. She says, "You guys ready to kick some ass?" Like, yeah, we are, baby. Let's go. Like she's pumped, right? Like Fortnite is just crazy, and she's playing on Xbox, right? Like they're killing it. But like my other ones too, my 7-year-olds, they get into it. Like Fortnite has killed it, right? The zero build is insane. It's so good. But then you have the Lego mode that they have, where it's like the survival game that they made, which my daughters go and they play that shit together alone. 2 7-year-olds and a 4-year-old. They go out there and they just live their best lives playing that game, and it's dope. The car game, like you said, Ham, that Rocket League mode is so dope. Oh my god, I'm a sucker now for buying cars, bro. They got me buying cars. I got a Lambo. I got the McLaurin. Come see me. Come see me. You ain't gonna see me, yo. It's too good. And then the fucking Guitar Hero mode, bro.
Yeah,
shit's fire. It works so good. Like they just took it to another level, and that's just what they made. And then you have all these people out here
creators mode too, where
Yo,
you can go ahead and like it's very much like Roblox, and it's like now Roblox looks, and I mean it never looked great, right? But now it really feels like a knockoff. It's kind of like, look at this. I'd rather play it here. I have it like
yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely.
you don't want to play Roblox in Fortnite
Yeah,
instead of
seriously.
Roblox.
So JD Gamer, look at him peeking over
thank
again.
you.
JD Gamer, back to back, brother. Appreciate you, man. With that $5 super chat says Fortnite proves the industry is changing. What do you think it looks like in 5 to 10 years? What acquisitions will Microsoft have completed, and how does Xbox look? So this is a good thing that we could talk about, but I can tell you right now, I think in the future, I think Microsoft buys Epic. I think they want to be the home to every big game that exists.
Sarah
And I
said
know
it.
you may
Biggest games in the
they
world.
said it, and I think that when you think about Fortnite, it's cool to think about that, but like also keep in mind that Call of Duty just got purchased. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Minecraft
bought
was the other one, and
Activision to get
I
that.
remember when Minecraft happened, it was kind of like, all right, what more can you possibly do with Minecraft? And I mean, look at how much
And they
more
blew it
money they're
up,
bringing in
right?
than it used to be. It's crazy,
Be,
but
I
I
agree.
think
Coalition
that'd
would
be
be like,
very
"Come on in,
difficult.
the water's fine."
Yeah, the
You think so?
regulators, I don't know. Would
And
do
it's
that.
not even.
Why do
It's
you
not
think
even the
regulators would care
regulators.
about one game?
Tim Sweeney, one person owns 51%
yeah.
of Epic.
And
So
he's-
for
he's
Micro,
a-
so Tim would have to sell, and I want to say Tencent owns like 30% of
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah, and Sony owns a percentage.
Sony owns like a smaller percentage, but
It's like
Yep.
it's kind of like
1.6 or
Valve. Like Valve is like it's Gabe, and Epic it's Tim.
Well, I think no, Valve is completely private.
Well, no, so is
right?
Epic. Epic's completely private too. It's just
Well,
like
yeah, it's private, but there's shareholders. Where I don't think Valve.
right.
I think
Well, no,
Gabe
yeah,
is just
but I'm
Gabe.
just saying. I think it'd be very difficult for Microsoft because I guess. Well, I mean, all they would have to do
I
is
don't think
convince
so.
Tim to sell to him.
Yeah, that's all they gotta do. And
But
you put a
regulators
couple
may not.
B's, billions in his pocket. I think Tim says, you know what? Have fun, bro. Have fun. Have fun. I'm out like a thief in the night. I mean, look, it just makes sense. Coalition is such a big Unreal, right? Studio, right? Like they know Unreal better than a lot of the people at Epic. Like they're out there helping Epic fix their shit for the Series S and shit like that, right? Dude, it is not out of the realm of possibility for them to buy the company. They'll own Fortnite. They would already have shown that Call of Duty is everywhere. Minecraft is everywhere. Nothing has changed. So you can't say, oh, you're going to have a monopoly on something. No, it's just we're now the ones footing the bill. And we also know that Fortnite doesn't make as much profit as we all would assume it making because of the massive amount of cost of all of the licenses that they have on a constant basis, right? So who better than for Microsoft to be like, no problem, put that in our back, we're done, we own it, and now everything big is associated with Xbox. I mean, that's what I feel they're doing, by the way. So I think they're buying their relevance, right? So to us, we all love them and know them and all that fun stuff, but we know out there, right, the greater majority of people out there, they're not Xbox dudes, right? They're always looking at either Switch or PlayStation. So the way you make them turn heads is to take something that they know and love and put the spotlight on the fact that now Xbox owns them. You make people see things differently. That's why I also think that I can see them. I don't think it's impossible for them to buy Grand Theft Auto, to buy Take-Two. There's nothing about that company that a regulator would say, no, you can't own them. Why? Because they make a game every 10 years with Grand Theft Auto.
Well, but see,
right?
I'm gonna stop you right there real quick because it's just like what Homeboy was just saying about Fortnite, where GTA is pretty much like Fortnite in a way, where it's almost its own platform without a console, right?
Facts.
So, and I mean, taking away GTA just by itself, 2K and Take-Two is still freaking massive, right?
Yeah, but it's all third party.
What's that?
It would be all third party though, right? So NBA 2K, you're keeping on everywhere. Grand Theft Auto, you're keeping everywhere. What else if they make that football game, you're keeping it everywhere, right? So it's not a purchase for exclusive necessarily, unless they end up making other games, right? But the 2K that exists right now, I think that's going to be if they were to purchase them, you just keeping everything everywhere. It's just associating the brands with Xbox permanently, right?
I feel like that'd be one way for Take-Two to really scale back on their whole idea of games being so much more expensive.
Yep.
Because they
exactly
have really been in the news about, this stuff is too cheap. This stuff is too cheap.
Yes.
Meanwhile, we got Helldivers and Power Worlds over here saying, shut the fuck up. We good.
Facts. Facts.
Now,
they got it. Go ahead, Crispy.
Do you think, I really feel like it would be more of like Amazon or Apple would pull something like that. Because like, if you really look at it, like Apple is quietly a big gaming company right now. You just don't really realize it. And Amazon has just been real quiet and they still haven't said, hey, we're not doing this anymore. So what are they cooking? You know, and that's where you go and say, that's where Phil said, like, our competition is not Nintendo and PlayStation. It's the three bigs of, you know, that we're jockeying for position with all the time. So, I mean, if you look at it, like, yeah, I think you're right. Like, they're actually ahead of the curve. They're saying, you know what? If we can get this done, we're going to get it done. Like when ABK came to them, they were like, oh yeah, let's go. Because you know what? They probably are looking at them, Amazon. I mean, Google kind of stepped away a little bit, but Amazon and Apple are kind of, yeah. I mean, Amazon and Apple are kind of still chilling there. Like, what are they actually cooking over there? And that's exactly what Microsoft's thinking, because, you know, you look at that all the time and they say at one point they do one thing greater. Like they came out the Windows phone, Apple had the iPhone. iPhone kept going, got better and better. Now they own the mobile business, half of it. You know what I'm saying? So like you look at it and they got to make sure that they're far enough ahead of them and they're not worried about, you know, Sony and Nintendo. But at the same time, if it's the current FTC regime, I don't think no matter what they do, they're going to let it happen. I mean, they should be able to close this door right now with the 4 games going over, but I feel like I haven't heard that it's closed yet. They're still fighting it. So
I just don't think there's any argument. I don't think FTC can say anything. Like Activision was the biggest third party, blah blah blah. But let's be real, they didn't talk about anything other than Call of Duty, right? And the threat was Call of Duty going single player. But it becomes a very easy thing. If we didn't make Call of Duty exclusive, why would we do that to Grand Theft Auto, right? Especially since it's already done, right? They've already put all this money into it, right? So I really don't think, and I know I got like a fucking random echo. Oh, there you go, it went away. I really don't think it would be something that would hurt them. Like as far as like the FTC, like they have an argument. I just don't see it. But the other thing about with Apple and Amazon, like Google came into business thinking that they were Stadia. Xbox bought Bethesda, and they were like, "I'm out." Right? They booked. Right? They were gone. We're not doing this. We're not playing this game. We're not spending that type of money. Right? The difference with Google and Apple, right, is Google and Apple on the phones have a relatively risk-free business. All those games are made for the phone, and they don't have to worry about it because the games are going to be made for mobile. Everybody wants to put their games on a phone, so they don't have to go crazy spending money, right? It's all just income, right? That's the difference. If Apple were to come in, and it's a possibility, Apple could buy Sony. But if they were to come in, they would be assuming a lot of risk that they're not used to having, right? Because nothing they have right now is really a risk, right? Their phones, they make them, they spend however much they want on it because they sell hundreds of millions of them, right? It's just, this is just where they are right now. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what, I don't think that there would be a reason for them. Amazon, I just don't know if I don't even know if they know what they want out of games.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Like they're just like tiptoeing around it. You know, they got some games being made, but they're also, you know, they have Luna, but it's also not, you know, setting the world on fire. Like I don't know. But let me get the homie Robert Jr. in the building.
Robert Jr., what's up?
Thank you for that $5 super chat. Says,
thank you.
Odyssey versus Twisted Metal cancellation. We already know which cancel game is worse. Facts. Twisted Metal, that sucks for the people who are on PlayStation because that's one less game you know that you had coming. That's jacked up. That's jacked up. Odyssey was.
Hey, bro, Redfall ain't looking so bad no more. You know.
I know.
Yo, all right, let's not go that far.
Yo, Redfall was good, man. I don't know why. Listen, I know it happened the way it happened, but I didn't have that type of expectation on Redfall. I have fun, especially now.
I'm gonna hop in real quick because
Sure,
we're kind of veering off a little bit, and we were talking just a little bit about the whole Sony thing.
Yes, sir.
Correct. And I didn't really get to throw my hat in the ring quite yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that as of right now, since I'm thinking about it. Things are changing. Clearly, Hiroki Totoki has came out and said, "Yo, y'all fucking shit up. We need to rethink the way that we are handling business. Bungie, quit fucking around. We know what y'all be doing. We seen you with Microsoft. We seen you with Activision. You ain't gonna play us like this. Stop it.
Facts.
so,
They can't save her.
so they are like cutting back, figuring things out. We already seen within the Insomniac leaks that they're thinking about scaling back on some of their games to make them cheaper to be able to purchase, correct? And we're seeing this already being done by Microsoft with something like Hellblade, $50 game, correct? We've seen that within the Insomniac leaks as for Venom possibly being a $50 game coming out, correct? Am I wrong?
So you're right. I think you're right.
So with that being said, there's that happening with also the whole idea of mobile. We know that they just bought a few studios within the last few years that have to do with mobile. So then they're trying to transition to that, which they're already late to the bus with because they were too confident with the PS4 that they thought that they could just walk into this generation with their chest out, have all these great games, which I ain't going to knock their games. God of War's phenomenal. Horizon Forbidden NyQuil, not for me, but it looks good. And a lot of people still like that game. Gran Turismo, think of it however you do. It looks phenomenal on the VR, and I'd like to play it that way. Returnal, sure, that was that game came out before they actually purchased that studio, but it's still under their umbrella right now. So you got to give them a little bit of credit for that because they did put money into it. Ratchet and Clank, various other titles, right? So they have some good titles, but the problem is nobody's buying the games. Right? Facts. They're only buying a few of the high-name titles. Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2, God of War. Everything else is just kind of like hit and miss and really needs to be sold as a bundle with the console. Right? So, with all of that being said, and them being late to the party with some of their ingenuity, also with the subscription services, with the backwards compatibility, with the ways of structuring their PC games, and they still don't have a freaking launcher for the PC, but crazy, they're bringing the PSVR to the PC. Their own headset is not even first party anymore. It's a third party product now, which is wild to think about, but I'm super duper excited because I want to see how this thing works on a PC. I also want to see what all things that the PC will actually give this thing the ability to unlock and do. So I'm really excited to see that, and I'm sure a lot of other people are looking to get into that because they're like, dude, I don't want to buy a $500 console and then a freaking headset that costs damn near more than the console. That sounds freaking insane. So they're restructuring a lot of things, but they're late to the party, and they were just so bullish and so just chest out, and they just thought they were He-Man until they got hit in the chest and got reminded, hey, nobody cares. Ain't nobody buying a PS5 for these shits. Right here, ain't nobody buying that for this shit. As Rand just got done saying just a little bit ago, people are buying the PS5 because they can play Genshin Impact. They can play, all these free-to-play games over there that are very accessible. Call of Duty Warzone and, all that kind of stuff right there, right? So it is going to be really interesting watching PlayStation kind of maneuver in the next few years, but I definitely think they're going to be a little more giving when it comes to just gaming in general and other platforms and stuff like that, just for the fact that they're no longer sitting there. I mean, pretty much Hiroki came out and said, you guys think you're way tougher than you really are. You need just because you have the lead doesn't mean you're gonna win you're gonna be the freaking dynasty, right? Just because you can win a Super Bowl next year, your ass, right? We've seen it with the Eagles many times. So I'm just saying, I'm throwing the Eagles under the bus. It's mad to deal with it. But anyways, yeah. So I'm just expecting PlayStation to look to kind of about face and look a lot different to their fans coming soon. And I think it's really actually good for gaming all around, and seeing that Xbox is willing to be a little bit more open and share a little bit of stuff like that. I mean, call me crazy if you want, but I think they see a hole in Sony's defenses. Be wild as much as people complain about, oh, the Xbox games are going on to PlayStation. That stinks. Do you think, imagine this, and I've been trying to tell people this as of lately. Imagine this. Xbox drops a game on the PlayStation and it smokes all of the games for PlayStation that year because they're so slow at producing games as of right now. That's not a good look. That is not a good look when the other company is profiting and you're only getting a cut. Right? So, I mean, that's a bad look. And then on top of it, one of the highest paid games for their platform, we own now. So it's just like they're getting chomped up by the bit in all these different areas. We've seen it within the Insomniac leaks about how terrified they are of Game Pass and Activision games being brought into Game Pass, especially Call of Duty and stuff like that. We know this whole Call of Duty Warzone mobile's going to be coming out here soon, which is going to definitely rake in cash. It's going to be pretty insane. As long as Xbox figures out how to market themselves properly, this should be phenomenal for them. This is going to be kind of a slow chug for Sony for the next, I don't know, 14, 15 months. So like it's just really interesting to sit back and see, because as much as we like to doom and gloom over here on the Xbox side for ourselves, and as much as, you know, PlayStation fanboys and stuff like that like to beat their chests, but then they look at their game sales and they're like, let's not share that.
Yep.
Like, I think we need to kind of step back from all of the noise that everybody makes and look at the big picture with a lot of this stuff. Everybody's so worried about tomorrow and what's going to happen next month, and Hi-Fi Rush is going over there super soon and stuff like that. You're not thinking the way Microsoft is thinking. Microsoft is thinking like a decade or 20 years in advance, trying to like we're sitting there looking at a chess game, but we need to back up so we can see that it's not just a chess game. They're playing like 4D chess over here, and they're trying to figure out a way to slow bleed their enemy. And it's a really weird situation that both companies happen to be in, because one's trying to get notoriety and has a lot to offer. The other one has the notoriety, but not much to offer. The balance beam will switch or will start to wobble a little bit depending on who really cashes in by using time wisely. So, I mean, that's really all I got to say. I'm excited to see how this whole shebang kind of plays out, because I want to see Sony be on PC. I want to be able to play something on my PS5 and then be able to access the exact same save on my PC if my daughter wants to play the PS5, just like I can do on my Xbox. If my daughter's playing on my Xbox, she's been playing the hell out of Bluey as of lately. She's 6 years old. When she's playing that, I'm on the PC playing whatever the hell, or my Steam Deck or something like that. So I'd really love to see that be brought over to PlayStation. But then as for Xbox, I'd like to just see them, because I already feel like they have what they need. They just need notoriety, right? They just need to have that fight like they did in the 360. They need to pull out the guns and show the tattoo again. You see what I'm saying? That kind of engagement fires people up and gets you excited about their platform and programs and services that they actually have. So I really hope that they can kind of get it together while Sony's kind of on a downtime. And then while Sony figures out their stuff, I really hope that they can show people, hey, we're not just one-trick ponies.
Look at that. Brought it back around with the pony talk.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Listen, I have Crispy Bomb. I know you have to get going, but if you want to drop a couple bars or if you just got to go.
Just thanks for having me, and hopefully we could do this again. You got me for 3.5 hours, longest one I've done in a long time. So appreciate the comments.
Thank you for rocking with us.
You see you, Rand, as usual.
Crispy. I'll see you soon.
Yeah. We'll get into that. I'll let you announce that. But at Crispy Bomb on Twitter, Crispy Bomb 28, Xbox Live, and you can find me on Breakfast with Boom Fridays 10 a.m. And Ham will let you know a couple weeks from now. We'll see you later.
Nice. All right, fam. Appreciate you, man.
Crispy.
Appreciate you, brother.
Later, Crispy.
Let me fix it when he leaves real quick, so there's no craziness.
I gotta drop out too, buddy.
Oh, okay.
3.5 hours is a long time. I gotta go get some food.
It is.
Thank you so much for rocking with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, I'll see you guys, and I'm sorry I'm about to screw up your thing. You're gonna have to fix again here.
I'll fix it. No worries, man.
All right, later.
Rand, I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. All right, there we go. Let me move everybody back.
All that's left with the black people.
The blacks and Hispanics are the only ones who speak to the
Listen, we dance all night, baby.
That's right, bro.
That's how we party.
I think I got about 20 minutes. I gotta get ready for the show. So
yeah. You leave it to we're wrapping up. We normally don't go this. I don't know. We just
I'm with
talking.
Big group.
Hey, I don't even know how long I'm gonna be going tonight. So it might be a long night for me anyway. So it's all good. I'm here. We good.
All right. Let me read a couple of these super chats and then we'll finish up with these what we're talking about. The homie JD Gamer man says, thank you again, brother. Thank you for that $5 super chat. Says it's not money that will make Tim or Gabe sell, but they are both one life-altering event from selling, i.e. their health takes a turn or a bad breakup. I mean, any number of things. You're right. Or something could happen where they just need a large influx of money, right? And they're like, you know what? It's time. You know what I'm saying? But I feel that 100%. Again, JD Gamer, man, the homie, man. Thank you, brother, for being here. Thank you so much for that $10 super chat. Says Microsoft now has the template complete, a major publisher acquisition, and address the concerns of the regulators at the same time. Brad Smith didn't make good with the CMA for nothing. They have someone in mind. I'm with you 100% on that, man. I'm telling you, I feel like something big is coming. I think the next one in my mind is going to be Sega. I think
that's a smart one.
It's coming. I think they're going to lock that up. And
I'm just waiting for them to get the Thanos.
Right.
Finish them and hit them with the finishing blow that is Steam.
Honestly, that is the one that would make so much sense for them to be able to finally really own the Windows platform, because if they own Steam, they own PlayStation on the PC.
How much would that cost? How much buying Valve will cost? That's gonna be
not more than Activision.
Well, see, that's the thing that's up for question. Like, there's supposedly an evaluation of 16 billion, so it wouldn't be that much. Like, you could offer them 25, but the amount of income that company draws, I think, makes that evaluation like on the low side. So yeah, there was talk of somewhere in the 100 billion range before. It just really comes down to what Gabe wants. Like, they would be the go-to place for PC at that point. And then Epic would probably cave shortly after that. And I'm not sure if Good Old Games or GOG or whatever would still want to stick around, or if CD Projekt Red would want to divest that as well. But if they were able to get it, I mean, right now Microsoft has 90 billion in liquid assets ready and waiting for anything that isn't contributed to an AI company just yet. So they have almost everything in cash ready to go if need be.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you,
they do that, and that changes everything for sure. But yeah, I feel like they can do so much, and I know. Listen, Satya came out. Satya said that they're doubling down. I hear doubling down. I hear they have a lot of money to spend and they're going to be buying multiple things. I think they're going shopping because the thing is that no matter how many of these things they buy, there's still so many more out there that nobody can say that they own everything, right? Like, I don't know. I think that there's a bright future of what they can possibly be buying. I'm really excited to hear. You got the homie JD Gamer again, man. Thank you,
JD
my brother,
Gamer,
for being
thank
here.
you
Thank you
so
for that
much.
$20 super chat, man. Appreciate you. Says, I think we give PlayStation way too much credit and not enough to Xbox. Facts. If exclusives define a console, name 10 first-party AAA PlayStation-owned IP on the PlayStation 4, then do the same thing for the Xbox One, then do the same thing for this gen. It's surprising. I mean, you ain't wrong, right? We know, I guess back in the day it was much more of a big deal when a game was exclusive because it was like, oh my God, you didn't have that many games, right? Like there weren't that many options. So the exclusives made such a big difference because a lot of these platforms, like most of their stuff was exclusive. You know what I'm saying? Like Xbox, remember there was a time that Xbox didn't even have EA. You know what I'm saying? They had to make their own sports games to compete, right? Because EA wasn't bringing their stuff there. So like it's just a different time. Now exclusives make such a small part of the pie. And that's what I think Phil's getting misquoted. When he talked about 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a much smaller percentage. That doesn't mean there's not going to be exclusives. It
I
just
think
means
the
that
fact
so
that
many other games are going to be coming in that the percentage shrinks when you look at how many. Just like what he's alluding to. Name 10 games, how many games released, in a year versus how many exclusives released in a year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's negligible the percentage of how many exclusives there are versus how many actual games get released on a daily basis, right?
I think the problem is that in where exclusives are no longer such a big deal is because PlayStation doesn't have any, and this is the problem, right? That's the narrative. Like that's why they're not making a big deal about it because they know that freaking PlayStation has nothing on their side. So now, just like the ponies move the freaking post every time they need to, this is the same shit going on. Now exclusives are not that big of a deal. Why? Because Xbox has a shit ton of exclusives and PlayStation doesn't really have anything going on. And that's the problem. Now anything and it's the same narrative over and over again. Everything that matters, just like the ponies were out there, and unless it's first party, it's not whatever.
Right.
Now it doesn't matter because all they have is third party. So
Yep.
we need to start holding the same energy, and I'm with you, JD. Like bring back that excitement that you guys had for the motherfucking exclusives. Because guess what? The reason why they went and bought all these studios was because PlayStation was getting all the exclusives, right? They didn't have enough going on. You want to compete, you want to go ahead and take it all and make these deals behind closed doors that we can't seem to get. Let's go buy the building. We buy the building, now exclusives don't really matter.
Yep.
Like, what are we talking about here? And
Yep.
this is why it's so important for Xbox to continue to push and continue on that, like Ham said before, like stick to it. Stick to it. Let's go. You know what you were
Consistency.
doing. Now it's not the time to change the narrative because PlayStation no longer has these things going on. You guys were forced to spend this kind of money because of what PlayStation was doing. Now push through.
Facts. Let me get this last super chat and then we're gonna keep talking. We got the homie JD Gamer, man. Thank you so much for
JD
being here.
Gamer,
Thanks for
thank
that
you.
super chat. Says PlayStation's AAA game output has been low over the last 2 gens and it's not going up, it's going down. While Xbox's has been improving and growing up, so who wins? Facts. I mean, dude, like understand we even last year, Xbox outclassed PlayStation with the amount of games that first party Xbox like there were first party games that were released. They released like I think it was like 13 that released last year. That's huge. And this year again over 10 games we got coming. Like what are we talking about here? PlayStation released what one first party game last year, Spider-Man 2? You got
And that's but Fossey
almost
brought
0
up the
this year?
advertising before. This is where it's like, you know what you're doing. You know why you bought this shit. Go ahead. And yes, they're not advertising because they don't have anything to advertise. You go ahead and you push. You say exclusive to Xbox. Keep pushing that narrative until it becomes important again. And you have it on their face to the point that they cannot deny that exclusives are still important. Period.
Facts.
Stop letting them run the narrative of how things should matter or not, or how things are shaped in the industry. They don't have the power anymore. And so just like we say, Xbox fans, if right now you can't stand up tall and say, shit, this is the best time to be a freaking Xbox player, right? To be in that ecosystem. If you can't say that shit now, when are you going to stand up and be able to shout that out? Same shit for you, Xbox. Live where you are. Embrace where you are. Embrace your motherfucking power. Get out there and make matter the things that you know matter. The shit that you fought for. PlayStation and the motherfucking ponies do not get to have the narrative anymore. And we need to see that. And Microsoft needs to see that shit.
I feel like I'm ready to go to war. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm guns up, bro. Let's go.
Hey, it's been a lot of
this soft mentality needs to fucking die out.
It's been a lot of passionate speeches in the last hour. I didn't heard him solo like, damn, I want to go play football right now. Like I want to hit somebody. And now Doodle like, man, I'm like, oh man, I'm hyped now. So hey,
you're welcome. This was your pregame for your show.
I'm telling you, I'm up now.
There you go. Let's get JD and Gavin that $2 super chat. By the way, pathetic port begging ponies got no games. Yo, these are the truths, yo. These are the truths indeed.
They don't have games.
All right, so
we do.
We do.
By the way, where's Palomo? Did he ask what Dark Doodle was?
Oh, there you go.
The emojis are popping in.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right, let's kind of get everybody's just last bars on what we like, just the month, right? Like this is what ultimately this is. The end of the February, you know, it's a gaming blog party. The month in review, like just give your bars off on what you feel, you know, from the month and you know, going forward. What do you think we're gonna have? Ray, let's start with you, man.
But this month or last month?
This month, February, the one that we just finished.
You know, it started off rough. You know, we've seen a lot of people that you wouldn't think will be on the PlayStation side. That's where they're at right now. But at the end of the day, though, as y'all say, this I think it's Pawn Soul or somebody always says it's the golden era of games or something. And like he's 100% right. Like for the last 2 years, we didn't have to worry about any game at all. And we're not for the next 15 years, we don't have to worry about any games coming to the system. And with the best value in gaming, which is Game Pass.
Facts.
Hey, I'm eating good. I still get to talk shit. They can go full third party and I still get to talk shit. So at the end of the day, bro, we living life good over here. So I don't really follow all of the doom and gloom. Every time I see it, I always kick somebody in the teeth for it. And that's why I get in trouble on Twitter. So, but it is what it is on that one. But yeah. So hey,
you call it out, man. I saw you in the chat. Thank you.
Oh, well, you want to talk about somebody I hate? That will never be one of those guys.
You and me both. Baby.
Yeah, I've seen
you
it,
and me both.
Yeah, so
I didn't see what you guys were talking about, so
I'll tell you later.
All right, no problem. Vic got a message for you. Right. Thank you, brother, for being here. Thank you for the super chat. But are you really up, Ray?
I'm always up, sir. I'm leaning in a chair right now, but I'm always up.
Yeah, you just stack 2 chairs on top of each other.
Hey,
and you even higher.
This child safety seat is always good, man. It's study back here, man.
I don't slip out of this seat, baby.
Not at all. I'm got the seatbelt on. I'm ready right now. I'm not going nowhere.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. All All right. And Ray, do you have now? Actually, I just saw Ham. Ray, do you got the link to your show?
Yeah.
Put it in the chat and I'll put it out. Fuzzy. There it is.
You
Fuzzy,
come back from a cruise and this mess is happening. People are fired.
Did you know? Were you keeping up with everything during the cruise, or were you just leaning back and living your best life?
A little bit of both. Like it was like times when like, and this is going to sound like a silly thing to like stress over at the ship. The elevators on the ship were a little bit slow, so while waiting for the elevator, because it seemed like they were taking forever sometimes, I would just scroll through and see some things, and it's like, okay, wait, another place laid off some people. Oh, Jim Ryan leaves and takes pictures with people, and then they get closed down. Like I saw that much, but not much of the other stuff. But yeah, for the most part, it's just wild to me how these companies are making the most money that they've made in like forever, and yet they're not, I guess, pocketing it right. So they got to cut back where staff reductions and things like that. So that part, all of that sucks. But looking forward to the rest of this year, I think the big thing that we have to keep in mind is that we got 4 games. No, actually, we got more than 4 games, but like 4 main games from Microsoft announced at the Developer Direct last month. And one of them drops by May, but we're getting like little tidbits in what do you call it, in Game Pass here and there that are
too, bro.
Exactly. Like that was one of those games that was like the only reason why I didn't buy it at the time when it came out was because I think I was still playing Diablo 4 at that time.
I was in the same boat. Playing other games, didn't need to buy it, and look at Phil giving us the gifts of Game Pass, baby.
And that's the great thing about like what Xbox has right now with Game Pass. We're pretty much going to be taken care of for all the way through up to the next generation, if that's 2026 or 2027, whatever it winds up being. But I think the big thing now, my PlayStation is basically only a GT7 box. I haven't bought a game. I think the last game I bought was wasn't Spider-Man. Sifu, I think, was the last one I bought because I didn't feel like waiting a year.
Is that
Although
good?
I
I saw it on sale on Xbox. I was kind of like, I'm still holding out.
It's a worthwhile
Game Pass. You know what I'm saying?
But it's one of those where I think I should have bought it on Steam as opposed to PlayStation at the time, because I probably have been better off, because I played that on my Steam Deck every so often. So it really goes to show that for whatever reason, PlayStation stumbled, after their launch lineup, they shot their load, and now it's like, okay, we got to wait for a Ghost of Tsushima 2 to be announced, or whatever, Naughty Dog is working on. That's not a remake or a remaster. I mean, it's just funny to me that no one was really calling out, why are you doing remasters on games that are less than 5 years old? But when it comes to Xbox, when it comes to Xbox, it's like there's some buzz about some remasters, but they're well worth having those remasters for like Gears of War, possibly a collection, like Fallout, possibly things that are more than like 7 years old type of deal. So it's like it's a good refresher for those that experienced the first time around, and it'll be a good introduction for those that's new to the platform. But overall, some bad news as far as the industry as a whole. Some infighting. That's probably the other bad part of the this month. But all in all, if you're into gaming, the future is bright. And like Ray was saying, my buddy Pong always talks about the the golden age of gaming. Yeah, we're living it. And we thought 2023 was a good year. 2024 stands to be even a better year for the gamers. Maybe not if you're working in the industry, but at least us on the consumer end of things, it stands to be an even better year. And we got some hardware that we're hearing, like maybe a haptic feedback controller from Xbox, maybe a all digital Series X, or I don't know. I'm waiting to see next week if we get some more news for some Xbox hardware. Something's bubbling up in the background. So I'm pretty sure we'll find out about that next week, though. But we'll see.
I'm down to hear it. I'm very excited for that. Before we get Ham out, Victor motherfucking Click. Thank you, brother, for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for $5 super chat.
Let's go.
Says Ray puts his sneakers standing up. It's hard to push down when your feet hangs.
You ain't shit, man.
Babe, hold on. You ready?
You ain't shit, man.
Sorry, Ray. I get caught up with the chat.
Hey, you know what's funny? Hey, I see they woke up. I start seeing chats with my name in it again. They finally woke up.
Yep. Oh my God! Then you have the homie Brian Yard Gaming. Thank you, brother. The $2 super chat says Ray the stunt guy for Baby Yoda.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh my God! Hashtag no PlayStation 6.
Y'all
the
be
Baby
googling.
Yoda that's behind Doodle.
Yo,
damn.
They be googling jokes and shit, man. I can
googling jokes. You want to hear a good one, baby? Tell him the one you told me. Tell him the one you told me.
I don't remember. I 100% don't remember.
Hold on.
Oh no! That's
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Chill, yo.
See, Ray wants to know now. You got to tell him the joke.
Yeah, now I want to know.
No, I don't want to say it.
If you don't tell us, this mustard pack is about to be on your tree.
Oh my God, you got to say it.
I just wonder if you can give us directions to the yellow brick road. You know what I'm saying? That's all. You said if I don't say it, motherfucker, I said it. God damn it. That was the setup. Woo!
Oh my God.
Went from yellow brick road to mustard brick road.
Oh damn! See, that's how it backfired on me, Doodle. See what you did to me? That's fucked up.
I see.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Oh, shout out to Fonz.
Fonz was finding Rand.
Here we go.
Fonz was finding Rand.
Thank you for coming by. Thank you so much.
You guys are like 3 minutes late. Rand
yeah, he just left.
He just left. That's just an illusion picture. You like how I tricked you
We've been rocking out for almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
So, Cold Eastwood.
Hey, what's good, man? Welcome, bro.
Thank you. See? Thank you guys for stopping by. That means a lot.
Rand's milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Oh man. But yeah, that was funny. That was funny. All right, homie Ham.
Yo.
Tell everybody where you be. First of all, thank you for coming, man. Appreciate you, man. Tell where they can find you. I'm gonna put your link up in the chat right now.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me on here today, you guys.
Thank you for being here.
I had a good time. I mean, it was a long podcast, but I'm kind of used to them, especially with as many podcasts that I do during the week and stuff like that. So, I was out last week, so being back in it this week is nice. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, you guys. If some of y'all in the chat liked my rant earlier about PlayStation and Xbox and stuff like that, I have a lot more of that to offer over on my channel, TSWS Gaming. Thank you so much, CMoney, for throwing the link in the chat. Just go ahead and click that button, hit the subscribe button. We're looking to get up to 1,200. We just recently passed 11 right now, so making our way on through, having a good time, doing what I love to do. I'm super excited to meet CMoney in person. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Yes.
Because we are going to be at PAX. Let's fucking
yes, that is true.
So,
fuck yeah, we are.
Yes. Boston, here we come. I am going to be meeting up with the Iron Lords down there. It was funny while you guys were doing all this talking about the PlayStation stuff and whatnot. I was actually finishing up writing up a review for a for lordsofgaming.net and whatnot. Nice. But yeah, definitely make sure you guys come through. Check out the content that I got over on my channel. I do all different types of shows throughout the week. I'm going to be doing a lot more reviews now that I've teamed up with lordsofgaming.net. and stuff like that. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to be having a review for Geometry Survivors, which is very similar to like a Vampire Survivor kind of game, except a lot of bright colors, more like an electronic kind of neon look to the game, but very similar to something like Vampire Survivors or Halls of Torment or something like that. Definitely come check it out. But again, I'm going to shut my ass up because we need to get the fuck up out of here. So I appreciate y'all for bringing me on. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Rocking with us.
Randall Thor. Oh, I mean Fuzzy. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Ray, good to see you as well.
Good seeing you.
Oh man. Well,
Hershey is Rand.
thank you all again, guys, for coming through, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. This
Absolutely.
was a dope ass show. Love doing these shows. We do it once a month at the end of the month. I mean, it was awesome to have so many people on here that was, killing it. So definitely a great show. So thank you guys. As for us, we will be back on Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, with her, him, and a guest. And our guest is going to be none other than Special Nick.
Let's
from
go.
Xbox Era.
Yes.
Coming back. He was just here with us on Friday on the night shift. And he's coming back. We're going to do the her, him, and a guest. It's going to be awesome. And then we will be back with Morning Quest on Sunday.
Yes.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. That's gonna be with Doodle and CMoney, which is us. So it's gonna be fun, guys. Thank you so much, chat. You guys are fucking awesome,
Amazing.
bro.
Thank you for rocking with
Love
us.
y'all, guys. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Shout out to Fonz and Cole for stopping by, but shout out to everybody who's here with us every single week. You guys are awesome. Shout out to everybody who did a super chat, man. We appreciate you guys. It helps. Thank you for everyone who is a member of our channel or over on Patreon. So
shout out to MASH for giving out all those memberships.
yes, shout out to MASH, man. That was fire, dude. Appreciate you giving out so many memberships. Of course,
absolutely.
Bro.
Go ahead.
I hope you guys have something more positive to say, because I'm gonna quickly say something real quick. Fuck these fake ass Xbox fans as of lately that have been playing this neutral bullshit as of recently. And what I mean by that, real quick, is these fair weather fans that like to sit around and hang around and chat with these PlayStation ponies and be their best friends and then turn around and say that they're Xbox fans. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Get rid of them bastards, man. I'm tired of the negativity with like the hate on like our own platform. Like, get the fuck up out of here with that bullshit. If you have such a problem with how we rock, what we like, who we support, get the step.
I got mustard in my teeth.
I feel that, man. I feel that. Listen, that's our biggest thing here, man. We can't stand these fake dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be there, bro. Like, rep your squad. Do it right. If you a pony, be a pony. At least I could respect the ponies who just live in that lane, no matter what's happening. They got Hiroki Totoki come out here, be like, yo, y'all going third party. They're like, nah, I don't believe that shit. Fuck that. We're staying here. You know what I'm saying? They won't believe it, no matter what. So listen, guys. Wild. That was a beautiful way to end the show, and that's where we're gonna fucking end it, guys. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, guys.
We love you all. We're gonna end the show the way we end every single motherfucking show. Doodle.
Yes.
We're done.
We are.
Until next time.
You're intruding.
You're intruding.